Good afternoon. It is 3:01. I'm Joseph Bonanno, live from the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs Studios. Titans rookie minicamp is scheduled for this weekend, May 1st and 2nd. Head coach Robert Saleh and select players will be available to the media on Friday. In NFL news today, former Vanderbilt quarterback and Heisman runner-up Diego Pavia has signed a UDFA deal with the Baltimore Ravens after going undrafted in the 2026 NFL Draft. The 49ers free agent wide receiver Jawan Jennings is visiting tonight and Wednesday with the Minnesota Vikings. After spending the first 5 seasons of his career in San Francisco, he is looking for a new home. The Steelers placed the rare UFA tender on Aaron Rodgers, meaning that he can accept a 10% raise off last year's salary, which would pay him about $15 million this season. As another condition of the tender, Rodgers would only be able to sign with the Steelers once training camp begins. For our foundation repair, one of the needs you need to visit USSTN.com. Bring news at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
John 104.5 The Zone. Brett Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Head on a swivel, more weather coming. I know some of y'all dealt with tornadic activity last night.
And into the morning.
I'm the kind of person, like, once that weather starts, like, I just get up and stay up.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, so I appreciate Mother Nature bringing these storms like 6 to 10 p.m. as opposed to like 3 in the morning.
No, we had one at 3, y'all.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
You said you appreciate it.
No, tonight it's supposed to be 6 to 10.
Okay,
as opposed to last night where I'm like, oh, crap, tornado warning, Hendersonville. I text Moan immediately. He was up.
I was about to text
Big Dog's up.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I was thinking he was asleep. Yeah. Hey, but guess what? I felt that last night was one of the first. Usually I sleep through it. Last night was one of the first times I felt it. It shook the house. I don't know if that was a thunder or little baby. I may get up tornado or something like that, but that one was, it was rattling.
Straight line winds.
Yeah, that one was coming down.
That was the thing. That was
70, ain't it?
70 mile an hour, 80 mile an hour.
I thought I saw that.
60 to 70.
Yeah.
Yeah, my new buildings, I'm on the 23rd floor. So
you get all of it.
I'm like, and the building didn't shake. So I was like, okay, if it's not going to shake right now,
we got strong structure.
Because, like, you go to a skyscraper in, like, Chicago or something, you go high enough up, man, they sway.
Mm-hmm. They supposed to be built this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I don't need none of that. Nah, I got to get a little lower. Y'all can have flow 60 or whatever that is, bro. Be right down there where you at, Michael Jordan.
They're building a building in Nashville Yards that's going to be 60 stories tall.
Yeah.
It's going to be 115 feet taller than the Batman building.
See. Then I saw something, and listen, I saw it on social media, so y'all take this with a grain of salt. I saw something yesterday. Nashville's the leader in night tornadoes or something.
Is that right?
To get me?
Yeah. That's how they get you.
That's what came across. Hey, that's what came across my timeline, Night tornadoes, Tennessee.
Meanwhile,
specifically Nashville.
Babs sends some conspiracy theory thing at like 12:30, and I make the mistake of reading it at 12:30, and I'm like, I'm not going to sleep after this. It was about time traveler and guy tweeting like what was going to happen, and it did, and all these things.
See, nah,
Babs, what are you doing, Babs?
Babs,
12:30 in the morning.
Why you ain't resting? I should have called Baby Babs' iPad and got her up so she can start performing. I bet that'll make her lay down.
I just like to watch, and like if I see tornado warnings and I know people in the effect, I'll start texting people.
Yeah.
Make sure, because I know, what are the odds that somebody's up at 3 in the morning?
They not.
Moan was.
Yeah, Big
Savage was watching his house.
Yeah, but see, Moan and them, they was in direct line, though, I think.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
I mean, at least really close.
Right.
So I think there was one observed in, like, Millersville, Goodlettsville, which is up there by him.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, head on swivel. We'll keep you updated. Another round between, like, 6 and 10 today.
They coming, y'all.
Hope you guys are okay. Guest coming up. Mike Detillier, 320. It's funny how, like, I've known Mike for like 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
And he, longtime writer and publisher of the M&D Draft Report. He did it for 30-plus years. Just quit doing it a couple of years ago, but still keeps up with it. College and pro football analyst, talk show host on WWL radio in New Orleans, which is one of the most famous radio stations in the country. And I was telling Zeph, there are always reasons for us to put him on.
Yeah.
And so, like, Carnell Tate. So we just had, who was it that was talking about him?
Malik
Neighbors. So he has a relationship with him.
Mm-hmm. He got to see this up close.
Yeah, Keldrick Falk, Auburn defensive end, so SEC guy. Anthony Hill Jr., Texas, he'll know all about him.
Mm-hmm.
Freshman All-American, and then All-American, and then second-team All-American. How this guy was in the second round, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But that might be the pick when we look back at this
All
4 years from now,
mm-hmm.
because he's so versatile.
Yep.
He can play inside linebacker. He can play outside linebacker. You can cheat him up on third down and rush the passer. Very, very good player. Very athletic player.
I can't wait to find out because that's what we've been. I wanted a quarterback right there. We might have got one on the defensive side of the ball. Speaking
of assistant GM Dave Ziegler, met with the media today, and while we're on the topic of Anthony Hill, he was asked where will Anthony Hill play in this defense and how they view the different linebacker spots.
No, I think Anthony is gonna live off the ball in that off the ball linebacker world now.
Okay.
To your point, there is an element of pass rush ability that he has in terms of a blitzer, working off stunts and working off games, and so I think you can kind of float him around the front, but we don't really necessarily see a projection of him just lining up on the outside and kind of using him as a pass rusher. I think that will come, his pass rush production and his third down role in that regard will come from off the ball.
You mentioned him as a Mike at Texas. Did you guys scout him as more of a Mike or a Will skill set in the NFL?
In this system that we're in, which is, I've been in the New England defensive system for a lot of my career, so it's really cool kind of to be in this new system. In Robert's defense, whether it's call it the Sam, the Mike, or the Will, and oftentimes there's only two guys. Really, the only difference between those three positions for us is the guy that has the communication skills and the football intelligence to handle the green dot is the Mike. So we really don't see a difference between like the skill set of the Will in this specific system, the skill set of the Mike. The skill sets, we're looking for the same guy in terms of the skill set. What separates those guys is I would say, like I mentioned, the football intelligence to be able to handle the multiples go on, the adjustments, and then having the communication skills to do that. And we feel really comfortable with Anthony being able to do that, both from our exposure with him on the 30 visit and getting to meet him and spend some time with him there, and then just from all the background and research that our area scouts did going through the school.
Mike, middle linebacker. Will, weak side linebacker. Sam, strong side linebacker, in case you guys don't know. But I know a lot of you do. But that's interesting to hear that. Like, they're kind of interchangeable.
Yeah.
Not just structured like, this is what middle linebacker does.
Yeah, this is what it looks like.
He doesn't do anything but this.
I just hope we don't have another one of those who's going to wear the green dot this season debates. Do you remember that a couple off seasons ago?
Yeah, I think it'll be another debate, though.
With Cedric Gray?
I think Slay should wear the green dot.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Now, what's
and
coming
just
out of
in from wherever he is. Yeah. You can text, right? Like
that's where it can get choppy at you. Me with the green dot. Am I showing up on time? You know what I'm saying?
That's up to you.
Am I getting a little belligerent? Am I fried with it? Like, it's a lot of things that.
If you're belligerent and fried, you're blitzing a lot.
We coming downhill, guys. Don't even worry.
You text and it's like a buzz on somebody.
Yep.
Two buzzes is go get the quarterback
immediately. Like, I'm cool if you jump off sides.
No, if he's gonna do that, I think what he should do is, like, if it sends a text, it plays Slay's voice in their helmet that says, "All right, you're up, big dog."
Well, they can just put me in the helmet.
Oh, you just want to talk live?
Yeah.
You be having conversations with them in the game.
That's right.
He's losing everybody up and get everybody competitive.
There you go. You know what I mean? You got to get some distractions going sometimes. Sometimes you get too serious. Remember, this is a game you playing, y'all.
It's a kid's game.
On 3.
We're gonna make it a two-way mic so they can talk back to you.
No, I don't need to hear what they're saying. I can see by actions what they're doing.
Important.
Yeah, what they're doing that's enough saying. You know what? They always teach you in class, don't speak until spoken to, or you fully understand what's being said. So, not Mike Detillier, but what's the guy? Dave Ziegler.
Dave Ziegler, yeah.
I was gonna ask you, who is Dave Ziegler?
I think a lot of people don't know.
But when I was like, you know what, I'm going to wait. So listen to Dave. Dave has something to do with football with the Titans.
I kind of liked what he had to say, though.
Dave was very thorough and explained it where we could understand.
I mentioned to somebody else about Dave Ziegler today, and they're like, dude, the Titans are the Preds.
See? That would have been me.
He
It
had.
was me.
So we've got a lot of audio from
me.
It was
Dave
somebody.
Ziegler today.
Might have been you too, though.
He's he explains some stuff very well about
like it.
their insights on their draft plans. We'll get into it in a little while, but just to see kind of what that front office, their mindset was in terms of how they attacked the draft and the free agency and stuff. It was kind of cool to hear from someone else other than Bergonzi.
Sometimes we talk through sound bites. Maybe we should do what you just said. Like, he's the teacher today, and we need to just
stay.
Listen. Just listen to him.
And see what's going on.
Don't interrupt him.
Yeah, then you come back, and then when you ask a question, he asks, everybody get that? And maybe I didn't get it. Zeph, could you play that again?
Yeah. I mean, I've been known to do that.
Listen, there's a lot of stuff going on out here in the sports world.
It's like when you're in class and like the teachers go to the next slide, be like, "Hey, can you go back a slide? I want done writing that down."
There you go.
So what else to tell you about him? Fernando Carmona, another SEC player, offensive guard at Arkansas, played tackle 2 years ago, but moved inside and started 49 games in college football. Nick Singleton, running back, Penn State. Again, goes back to Detillier because Nick Singleton, number one running back in the country coming out of high school, 5-star player, and it was Penn State, LSU, Alabama, and others. So we'll ask him about him.
Yes.
Pat Coogan, we've got some stats on Pat Coogan that are going to make you excited.
I like him.
Even though he's a 6th-round pick.
I don't care.
I do, too. Like, all those mocks I was doing, I usually picked him up in the 6th round.
I think we got him in one of them we did live.
Yeah.
Yep. And we got an 8. Do we get an A- for that draft?
We did on one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I did like 70.
Titans should have listened to us.
Could you imagine? We just bring him like sandwiches.
Our first one would have been wrong.
Here's a bunch of potbelly sandwiches. Y'all sit over there and eat. We'll do this.
We got this. Personnel.
What are y'all drinking? Don't worry about it.
Just be ready.
What's in that jug? I don't know.
Nothing.
Water.
None of you. None of your business.
None ya. Remember that in high school? None ya. What are you doing after second period? None ya.
None of you what?
Jaron Connack. I'm anxious to see what they do with the 7th-round pick. Tight end, fullback, Oklahoma. He also played linebacker for 3 years.
After transitioning from being a quarterback out of high school.
I mean, this guy.
That sounds like all-around special teams guy to me.
Remember, you won't, but remember Dan and Dave in the Olympics? Like the decathlete guys?
They were on the commercials?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's like them.
Yeah.
Like, he does it all.
One of them faded away, didn't he?
I think one was much better than the other.
Yeah, okay, yeah. He kind of left him in the dust.
I don't remember which one.
I don't either. Might have been Dan.
Yeah.
Dan seemed like somebody get left behind.
Also, what happened to Dave with Wendy's? Remember that?
Man, I don't know. But, man, they done changed Wendy's little hair and everything up. Like, it was more yellow involved with her. Now she got more red going on.
And her bow tie, it used to be like you didn't notice that it read mom until somebody told you, but now it's really obvious.
I never knew that. God. Ooh, that was loud.
What happened?
I don't know. My headphones loud or what?
Turn the preview button. Down by your mic control up top.
He looked like he just got electrocuted.
Woo.
His eyes popped out of his head.
Do it again.
I didn't even hear you that time.
Do it again. Yeah,
This is great radio.
Babs ain't here.
I can't hear you now.
When Mama ain't here, there's no telling what's going to happen
Well,
today.
that was wow right there.
Someone must have been messing with the knob.
Now I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Oh,
Yeah.
I got you now.
Babs is on assignment. She'll be back on Monday. Slay Dog is here.
I'm in the building. That's better. Dude, that first one was good. Gosh. Hey, can you give a shout out before we go?
I think I know what your shout out's going to be. Yes, shout out presented by your mom and
I
them.
want to know.
Shout out to Ronnie Mack.
Yep, that's one. Yep.
That's one. That wasn't the one you were thinking
No,
about.
that's one of them.
He's getting his kidney transplant today.
No, okay, so I got an update.
Oh, you got an update?
You want the update now?
Yeah.
All right.
I ain't got no update.
I'm about to get to you.
I ran into him in the SEC tournament. He met Kirby with a knife.
Yeah. Yep.
She was like, oh, my gosh. She got all emotional because she had heard the story
Hey.
where he talked about on the show that he needed a kidney transplant, and then my man called in and did it. Did it.
Got it done.
Had to go through 75 tests, but got it done.
Yep. So
And it was supposed to be today, right?
no, it's yeah.
Okay.
They started at 8:40 a.m.
Yeah?
Jeremy went in first.
Yeah?
Jeremy got his done. Procedure. Oh nope.
So they harvested Jeremy first,
Yep.
and then they put it on ice or something?
Yep.
Okay.
New kidney is in. He's doing well. Surgery for a couple of more hours. Closing up the procedures for Jeremy. That was at 1:20. Jeremy is in recovery. That was at 1:44. Jeremy is a hero. That was at 1:45. Ronnie's surgery at 2:21 is all done, and he did great. Surgery is done, and he's headed to recovery right now.
That was fast. 2:21 is 3:17.
Yeah. They got
like a NASCAR pit stop.
Knocked it on out, man. So they went in at 12:53-ish.
See, this is how far away from medicine I am. I would have thought that they would have had them laying right next to each other.
Yeah.
And they take the one kidney out of Jeremy and put it right into Ronnie Mack.
No.
But that's not how it works.
No, they did it, though, and then they sewed Jeremy up and got Jeremy out, you know what I mean? And then they finished up with Ronnie Mack. So it all went good. Headed to recovery. Boom. Got a new Ronnie Mack.
Can you get
a new Jeremy?
Can you give a go Doors one time just for Ronnie Mack?
Listen. I love Candace Story Lee. Candace Story Lee was a camp counselor for me when I was little.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I ain't never revealed it. I wanted to wait till she was on air with us.
She was on air with us.
When?
When I called her 3 Degree Lee.
Yeah, I wasn't here.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
Ah.
Yeah, so the great Charles Davis.
Yeah.
Used to come to her camp.
I just ran into him.
I saw that.
Yeah.
So that was the connection. I never told her that, though, but maybe she'll know now. But I was waiting. I love her.
Yeah.
I love what Byington's doing.
Clark Lee.
Clark Lee, you know that's my guy.
Grew up with him.
You know what I mean? What's my man, the GM over there now? Barton Simmons. Barton, that's my guy. You know what I mean? Like, I love everything they're doing. Shay Rap, I love everything they're doing. They will not get that out of me.
They're not getting it, no way. Not even for a kidney transplant.
Nah, I love you, Mac. That's all I can give them.
Mike Detillier next for y'all.
That's it.
BrentwoodJewelry.com. Our friends at Brentwood Jewelry have all of the selection that you need for your gifting opportunities throughout the course of the year. There are tons of them, no question about it. Mother's Day coming up. For over 50 years, Brentwood Jewelry has been proudly serving the Brentwood community with exceptional style and exceptional deals every day. As a family-owned and operated business spanning 3 generations, they are deeply rooted within the community, from Salem service and the Special Forces to his son serving as local firefighters. The Amamali family is dedicated to giving back. Support local. Shop Brentwood Jewelry. Brentwood Jewelry here to help you pop the question. A lot of y'all thinking about doing that this time of year. They can help you. Let them help you take the stress out of selecting the perfect engagement ring. They can help you find a beautiful ring in your ideal budget. Browse their incredible selection of one-of-a-kind rings, or talk with their custom design specialists to create a stunning ring as remarkable as your loved one. You'll get to know them really, really well when you go in there, and everything's about relationship with these guys, and you'll have such a great time going to visit with them. But also the Amamali family helping you take care of your gifting opportunities. 7012 Church Street in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for more than 50 years. Visit BrentwoodJewelry.com.
What's happening, good people? Big Slay here, and it's springtime. The season of fresh starts. That's why I said, you know what, I'm going to wait till the season's over, basketball season's over. You know what I mean? I'm still be on the stream, but I ain't got a lot of places to go, so I can rest at home, and I can go on and go get the sunroof closed up. That's right. Now, you looking in the mirror, you looking at that thing in a little spot, you like, man, what am I going to do? That's why you go to We Grow Hair. Yeah. They're delivering incredible results with their advanced FUE hair transplant technique. A minimally invasive procedure where individual follicles, that was weird, where individual follicles are extracted and placed with precision for natural-looking coverage. It means a much faster recovery than those old strip methods that everybody keeps talking about they're doing in Turkey. So I'm living proof. You look on the stream, you can see it. I can show you exactly where they moved it from and where they put it. But you can't see where they moved it from because it's already healed up. It goes fast, man. You go in there and tell them, Big Slay sent you. You get $500 off your hair transplant procedure. That's real savings on real results. Call 615-376-6010, 376-6010, or hit WeGrowHair.com.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Ron Slay with you. Babs is doing beach volleyball on ESPN coming up this weekend. Down in, where is she? Gulf Shores?
Gulf Shores, Alabama.
She's a lot closer to Mike Detillier than we are at this point, but Detillier's on the phone.
Yeah, she can't get Mike on the phone like we can, though, right now.
Longtime writer and publisher of the M&D Draft Report, college pro football analyst, talk show host on WWL Radio in New Orleans, one of the most famous and historic radio stations in this country. Mike, what's up? How are you?
I'm doing great, guys. How y'all doing?
We're good, man. Did anything stand out to you that might have surprised you a little bit in the draft?
I think there's always going to be a couple players. Caleb Banks going as early as he did, and I like Caleb. I just didn't see enough of him, to be honest with you. He had a lot of injuries at Florida, dealing with the foot. They played him all over the board. I don't know what Billy was thinking. He played nose tackle, defensive tackle. Even had him at defensive end one time.
Yeah.
But, to go within the first 20 picks, to me, was a surprise. And Caleb Downs lasting as long as he did. Because I can make you an argument, and a good one. He's the most dominating defensive player in college football last year. And I don't give a damn what position he plays. That dude influences plays.
Yeah.
So I do a breakdown segment. We got 2 weeks of television. I'm doing a breakdown segment. And there are instances in about 5 games this year that the quarterback takes a snap. He turns and looks in that area. Caleb Downs is staring at him like, hey, dude, I know what you're doing. Throw it. He turns right back and he throws it to the opposite side of the field. You're talking about a guy that can influence a play. And I've had coaches tell me that have went against him. He was calling offensive plays as they huddled. Basically, they broke the huddle and they got ready to line up. He would call out the offensive play. Man, there ain't a lot of cats like him.
No.
Okay, I know he's not 6'2", and he's not 220 pounds. All I know is he's 100% football player. Yeah. And even my buddy that I do the show with every once in a while, because he's on like a vacation like every other week, Bobby Hebert, he hates the Cowboys. He refuses to say Cowboys. It's always Cowgirls. He's like, I got to give him credit. Man, that was a great pick with Caleb Downs. And we kind of thought, as it came to the Saints, after losing Alontae Taylor and the way Brandon Staley does his defense, were they going to go that route with Caleb Downs? And they ended up doing sort of like what the Titans did. I got to help my young quarterback, and I go with that dude that can catch the ball. But Caleb lasting as long as he did, he's one hell of a football player. And all I know is he ain't going to be watching in September. He going to be playing.
Your boy Bobby Hebert. I loved watching Bobby Hebert play back in the day, but that might be the most politically incorrect guy in our business.
Every day. Y'all hear it every once in a while. I got it every day. Oh, man. And stories, because him and I and Coach Orgeron, we all grew up in the same area.
Yeah.
Okay. And Bobby's related to Coach O down the line. And, man, good Lord. You talk about stories. Guys, I'm telling you, if we sat down at 7 o'clock in the morning, at midnight, they would be about hitting stride with the stories.
Hitting stride.
And a lot of them we can't tell on the radio.
Yeah. So you got Malik Neighbors the other day on the Bleacher Report draft coverage said that, he was involved in Carnell Tate's visit to LSU, but he said he's not a number one in the NFL. What do you think about Carnell Tate?
Because he wasn't a number one on the team that he played
That's
on.
right, which no one would have been except for Jeremiah Smith.
If he'd have been on LSU's team, he'd have been a number one last year. That's all I can tell you.
I mean, like every team in America, except for the one he was on.
When you got a guy like Jeremiah out there aren't a lot of guys with that type talent.
Yeah.
what I see on film with him, okay, he's a long, rangy receiver. He loves the sideline routes. You can tell that's something he really likes to run. He's a very good contested catch guy.
Yeah.
Very smooth route runner. And I always try to explain to the audience and people I do shows with that a lot of times you can have a fast guy, but it's what he does coming out of a cut and a break. I've seen a lot of fast dudes, when they come to that cut and that break, it's almost like you can hear the tires squealing, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, the brakes are all the way down. They come almost to a complete stop.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch Tate, he does it very smoothly, and it's not a lot of lack, you lose that speed. But I see it in a lot of speed guys that, it almost like takes them to come to a stop before they can cut in the break. That's why I marvel in watching the young Tyreek Hill, okay, because he's a track speedster.
Yeah.
If that's what he wanted to do in this world, he could have made a living running track. How quick he is into and out of a cut and a break is amazing, because I've seen a lot of guys his speed, they almost got to come to a stop before they can do it. So he's a big contested catch receiver, and it wouldn't have been where I went, because I'm a big believer in this. Nothing influences a game more in the fourth quarter than a pass rush. Nothing. I learned that long ago. Jim Finks, when he was here and I first started doing all this, we had a long sit down, and he told me, "Hey kid," he said, I know you're never going to do this journalism stuff for long, because you're making way too much money in another field, but you got some skills, but I'm going to tell you something. And he cracked me that about don't fall in love with the athlete, fall in love with the football player. Yeah. And the second thing was, on draft day, always remember about who can influence the quarterback in the fourth quarter. You can have a big lead, and a guy gets hot throwing the ball, and you dead in the water. And this is the guy in the 60s and 70s that built the fierce, that team in Minnesota, the Purple People Eaters. Mm-hmm. And then he comes back with Chicago, and he builds the Bears defense of the 80s. And then he pieces together the Dome Patrol.
Yeah, so you would have nicknames there, well.
So you would have gone Arvell Reese right there.
Yes, I would have.
Well,
Mike Detillier with us.
But I get it.
Yeah.
Because the Saints did almost the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. When you have a young quarterback, you've got to give him some toys to play with.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to supply him that. And if you don't, then you've got issues. But that thing in the back of my mind about pass rush, always there. Always.
Well, they climbed up and back into the first round before it was over and went and got Keldrick Falk. Eric Armstead is who people keep talking about as far as comp-wise. What's your thoughts on him, Mike?
Yeah, there's some similarities because of the way they built. Mm-hmm. And just like Armstead, he plays high. Man, if I was a lineman, I'd love to play against him. I can get under his pads and move him around. The other thing with Falk, man, he flashes it. I think he's, what you see with him is he's really good against the run. Yeah. He does a nice job in run support. I would love to see him make more plays as a pass rusher, because physically, that's what I want a defensive end to look like. Yeah. I want him to look like that guy. Yeah. And he's got one issue, reminds me, and I'm not trying to compare, but Danielle Hunter, when he left out of LSU, he was 6'5", 245, 250. And he had just a handful of sacks at LSU. He comes back to work out in the offseason after a couple of seasons, man. He's putting up some numbers now in the NFL.
That's interesting.
And I asked him, what's the difference? And he said, he always was, Coach, let me tell you, I wasn't strong in the lower body. He said, I found out that lower body power generated speed for me. And if I was Falk, I would work out with people that could get me stronger in the legs. Now, okay, the technique part, okay, with good coaching, you can get that down. But you got to come off the line of scrimmage lower than what he does.
Mm-hmm.
You come off too high. I mean, you too big of an enticing guy to get under his pads and move you around because you're giving him so much torso to get into.
Yeah.
I thought he would be, a later first-round pick in the 20s. And he's an interesting player. But it's always in the back of my mind of why he's so talented and he's so gifted athletically, but the sack totals are low.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget Hunter telling me that, man, I put on weight, but I really concentrated on my lower body power. And he said, that's where the big differences come in for me.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point that you bring up because we met him the other day. He and Carnell Tate came and did the show live. And he's 6'6", 275 or 280, whatever it is. But he's fit, and, he doesn't look like he's that big.
Lean.
But the other thing, I asked him, I said, at what point in your life did you think that, hey, man, I can do this for a living and make money and be a pro and all these things? And he said as a sophomore. And I said, in high school? He said, no, in college. So I'm wondering if, he might be kind of similar to the Danielle Hunter thing comparison because the light turned on just a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Thing with Danielle, he was, I think he was a long jumper, triple jump, and he was like, come on, cuz, I can't be 290 pounds and be doing no long jump and triple jump.
Mike Detillier with us on 3HL. One draft pick I really liked from the Titans was Anthony Hill Jr., linebacker at Texas. And you and I texted about him a little bit, but when you pop the tape in, he does so many different things and is kind of interchangeable at various positions on the defensive side of the football, but can go after the quarterback, can play outside, can play inside. What do you think about Anthony Hill Jr. as a player?
I put his butt at middle linebacker, and his ability to run the field east-west jumps out at you. He's very fluid in his movement skills. There's not a lot of lost arc when you see him run, and there's not a lot of hesitation. He is a bit of a guesser, okay? I'm going to just tell you right off the bat. He'll take some chances. He will take some chances. And the other part, too, that jumps out at me is a lot of linebackers have trouble in reverse. And he can stick that big body in reverse, and he's pretty good there. A lot of linebackers today, unless, they're these little 220-pound guys, they have trouble in reverse. I can get them stuck in the forward position, but to get them in reverse, they have issues. The one thing you watch with Anthony Hill Jr. is he's very fluid left-right. He's got quick diagnostic skills and figuring out what's going on. He can drop back in coverage very well. But, he'll take some chances out on the field. And so that is something that you can get better at. But I think he's always been that way from high school on, that I really believe I know what's happening. And most of the time he's right. But then sometimes when he's wrong, they run it right at him. But the coverage part for me is very good. And I think that makes him a 3-down linebacker. Sometimes them guys, hey, you got to wave them off the field. Hey, come sit for a little while because I got to put somebody in your place. But he can play on 3rd down in the coverage part of the game.
Mike, when you look at a guy like Nicholas Singleton, man, what's your thoughts? Did you get a chance to see him coming up through the ranks?
I sure did, and last year wasn't good for Nick.
Right.
But you can see he's a power runner. He sees the hole well. I thought last year he looked to be trying to make too many big plays. Almost as though, okay, it's clogged up here, and I'm going to try to race you to the edge. Yeah. Well, I'm glad he got that indoctrination last year. Because in the NFL, dude, you ain't outrunning a lot of people to the edge. Yeah. Them guys is fast, too. But I like his field vision and his ability to put that big body in the forward position real quick, and he's got good body lean. You rarely see him knock back on a play. Just last year, I mean, it was almost a disaster what happened with Penn State, especially, you get beat by UCLA. What? Yeah. Come on, dude. And then it really fell apart. And I like him as a prospect. I was hoping the Saints would get him. I'll be honest. He was on a mock draft I did that I thought, okay, this team needs another running back. And I thought Nick would really fit into this system well. But I'm glad he's going to the Titans. He'll be a good kind of depth piece and part of that threesome at running back that they have. And, hey, look, the best help for Cam Ward is a running game. That's a quarterback's best friend. I do a show weekly during the football season with Drew Brees, and he laughs about it all the time about, best friend I got, them dudes that can run the ball. If they got a running game, then I got all kind of options I can do throwing the ball.
Yeah. And stay out of third and long, 2nd and 5. The entire playbook is open to you at that point. Yeah, Nick Singleton, I'm anxious to see Mike when he gets on the field and go watch him a little bit, because I think number one running back coming out of high school, 5-star player, was Penn State, Alabama, LSU. Like, it was all the big players. And 1,000 yards his freshman year. And then, as you mentioned, last year just something happened. So I'm anxious to see what's going on.
He was the cock of the walk coming out of high school. Because I know LSU was after him, and I mean big time. But, early on it really looked promising for him. And then last year, I guess like everything else, their offense sort of reminded me a little bit of LSU's. I mean, the wheels came off the cart, and it was pretty quick.
So,
Mike, just curious, and maybe you don't know this guy's story, but he was going to go play basketball at LSU. Undrafted free agent Tyrone Montgomery, wide receiver, John Carroll University. An incredible story. Didn't play high school football, wanted to play basketball. His mom had cancer. She wanted him to play football. His brother wanted him to play football. He got a chance at John Carroll, led more touchdown receptions in the history of the program his freshman year. Ends up at the Senior Bowl, and then ends up undrafted free agent with the Titans. Do you know much about him?
I know all about him. You skipped the spot. Nichols State University in Thibodaux, Louisiana.
That's right.
He and you're right about the rest of the stuff. And he went play flag football in Florida, and he sent out film. And Tim Rebow, who was the head coach at that time at Nichols, he told me we looked at it with our quarterback coach, receiver coach. Hey, let's give him a shot. And he was a walk-on at Nichols. He played 2 years here. He's a good player. But he was a puppy. He didn't know squat about football. And so everything he caught, he was a body snatcher. Everything was up because, again, you hadn't played and you hadn't gotten hit. And he learned how to catch the ball. There was some eligibility issues. And then next thing you know, because I do a weekly show with Timmy, he told me, Mike, he went to John Carroll. And then I see him making play after play after play there. He's still in the developmental stages as a route runner. He's gotten much better catching the ball. If you watch him now, he's pretty clean catching the ball out front with his hands. And, man, can he run. He is natural in that ability to catch it and then turn up the field, and you got one shot at him, and that's it. He was an electrifying player the couple years he was here at Nichols State. He worked at the Manning Passing Academy with the quarterbacks here, and man, I'm proud of him. I know the journey he had was difficult, and he wasn't. Everybody's got a little different story on how they made it to the NFL. But you talk about unique. His is unique, and then having the situation with his mom and everything toward the end, but. He showed he belonged when he went to the Senior Bowl. What? These guys can't cover me. I know I'm just as athletic as any of them. And he got something to prove. And I love a guy that's been scuffed up a little bit in life.
Yeah.
They want to prove it to you. And, they got a lot of smart asses in the world that think they know everything about everything. And he's one of these guys, I'm going to show you how good I am. And he does. And I remember talking to him because Rebo had told me, Mike, let me tell you the story about this guy. And I said, flag football, what? And he said, yeah, he tried out at LSU basketball. I said, man, Rebo, how you getting these guys? He said, no, he sent me film.
Yeah.
He said, we had nothing to look at. But he said the film was so good, we took him in. So I talked to him, and he's like, I'm just getting used to catching the ball with my hands. I was like, man, listen, work with somebody to catch it out front with your hands. He said, I am. And you can see today how much work he's put into it. And he's still developing. And you have to open up the route tree for him because, what they're running at John Carroll, the deal is, hey, Tyler, just run downfield. I'll throw it to you. Okay? I'll run that corner. I'll just throw it to you downfield. But, man, you talk about a great story he was. And I got a chance to watch him here for a couple of years at Nicholls State before he went to John Carroll. So proud of what he's been able to accomplish. And I'm glad he's getting that opportunity with the Titans.
Yeah, we can't wait to check him out there. That's one of the stories we need to follow.
Y'all going to love because this guy, he wants it.
Yeah.
He has decided this is what I want to do in life, and he is going to give you everything he's got on the field. Will he be a 1 or a 2 in the NFL? No. But, man, you keep more than 1 or 2 receivers on that roster. And he's a great story, and he's a much better athlete. The story's fantastic. It oversees how good of an athlete he is and how elusive he is. Once you can get him the ball in his hands and he takes off, and you know what he runs like? Like a flag football player. Like, okay, I got his flag. Oh, no, I don't. I missed it. He gets around you real quick.
Mike Detillier, our friend out in New Orleans. Thank you, Mike. Great stuff, man. Really appreciate your perspective as always, brother.
Mike.
Thanks a lot, guys. Y'all take care.
Have a great week. At Mike Detillier on X. Yeah. He Googled routes. He knew nothing about it. Before he put this tape out to coaches and stuff, he had to Google routes and then go out there with his brother and have family members videotape it. Crazy story. I can't wait to kind of follow that. All right, more 3 until next. 104.5 The Zone.
It's Ramon Foster, and I'm with Aaron from United Structure Systems. Man, they came by today to check out my house. If there's any issues, small or big, you're going to fill us in then.
We can take care of it no matter what kind of problems. So first off, we'll just kind of take a look through your house and see what kind of issues you got going. Cracks in the brick, cracks in the drywall, weird spots in the floor, doors sticking, windows not opening properly. Once we identify those areas, we're going to do a thorough inspection around the outside, make sure there's no issues going on with that. And then once we look over it, we'll talk about what's going on, and hopefully we ain't got no issues, and then we'll go from there.
Let's go. Let's go.
Ms. Foster, so we have looked at the issues that you brought up. We had the drywall in the attic up here above your bonus or your garage. You had some doors sticking.
I did.
Going in your bathroom. So we've inspected all that. We don't see any major structural concerns. So you're going to be one of our lucky good news customers today. There is some minor deflection there. That's not an uncommon thing. As any house is built, it's its biggest and its strongest the day that it's born. Gotcha. Right? And from that point, it just gets older, just like us. We ain't hopping up out of bed, taking off down the hallway, running downstairs anymore.
Not protecting quarterbacks anymore.
No.
Opening up late. We're done.
Your guard ain't there no more.
Okay, so, I got you.
So it just happens. It gets a little older and it starts to deflect. Now, there are some things we can do to kind of help adjust those doors, mainly adjusting in the door, which we don't necessarily do, and maybe doing some light shimming in the crawl space down there to address those sticking doors. But for now, no major issues there. We did talk about the grading in the back and some issues that we can take care of back there for you. But that's pretty much up in a nutshell. No big issues and you're good to go. So.
Awesome. So again, what you deal with United Structural Systems is it's upfront, it's honest, and now I can sleep peacefully at night, okay?
HL 104.5 The Zone. Mayor and Slay.
Yep.
Be here until 6 o'clock.
Here all day.
I just read that we need to be weather aware starting at 5:15.
Oh, they moved it up?
Yeah.
Got problems moving up, y'all.
I mean, selfishly, can we wait till 6, Mother Nature? Like 6:30?
Can we push back till 7? That's the time I'll be home.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about it. I was thinking about Slay. Wasn't thinking about you. Sorry, Seth. Yeah, you live a long way away. Murfreesboro, man.
Murfreesboro like to get it, too.
I got an hour drive every day after the show.
Back in the day, too, when we would go to Murfreesboro, for whatever reason, it was like you left Nashville and then it was like country.
Right.
For a while.
Yeah. That used to be that. Like, it wasn't growing like it is now.
Yeah, there ain't no
You go up
country
there,
anymore.
one number, the strip when you get off right there, that hotel, that Shoney's, then the Murphy Center, the Glass House.
Glass House.
That's it. That's all it was. State
I still
championships.
remember being at an MTSU football game, and we had severe weather, and it was tornado warning. They shut the game down and ushered everyone into the Glass House. I'm like, am I really going into Glass House during a tornado?
Yeah, that's smart. Stand by the windows, too, then.
So I didn't. I stayed in the concourse of the football.
I would have did.
Area.
Right by that concrete.
Man, it was
Solid
that day. From Adam Schefter, the Ravens are signing former Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia to a 3-year deal, per source. Pavia was supposed to
He was supportive of him.
try out this weekend, but the Ravens went ahead and signed him in advance. We knew he was going to Baltimore, and we talked about it. We looked at the depth chart, and they only have 2 quarterbacks, and it was Lamar Jackson and Snoop, and so that was a perfect place for him to go, so that makes complete sense. Go ahead and lock him in.
It was the UConn quarterback. I said that they signed another quarterback. It was the UConn quarterback.
Oh, we talked about him not too long ago. Why did we talk about the UConn quarterback? I can't remember. He transferred from somewhere.
There was some silly
Remember
story
Babs
about him.
knew him or
yeah.
something. I don't know.
But that's the other quarterback that they signed UDFA. So Pavia and I can't remember the dude's name. It's Joe something. I think he starts with an F. It doesn't matter.
Joe Flacco.
Hey, potentially. I don't know.
I mean, that's the only Joe F I know.
Yeah, that's trying to help himself out.
Joe freaking cool.
I think it's Fignano. Like it's like some Italian name.
Fasciano.
Cool, close enough.
There you go.
Sounds like a dish in an Italian
Yeah,
restaurant.
that's what I thought it was. But who knows?
What are you locked in on food-wise now?
Sonic Icy Slushes and corn dogs.
Corn dogs from Sonic or just corn dogs in
No,
general?
from Sonic.
Okay.
They got me. They got a hold on me.
Do they
I
still
can't
do
pass one.
do they still do the 99-cent corn dogs?
I don't even know. It don't even matter what it costs or anything. I'm getting it. That's how much of a hold they got on me. I don't know what it is.
$17.29.
Yeah, I gotta have it. That one pack of mustard and 2 ketchup.
That's interesting. Corn dog.
Dude, that's so
I can't tell you
phenomenal.
the last time I had a corn dog.
Man, only from Sonic or a fair. It's good to have
Sonic
one at
or a fair?
Yeah, it's good to have one. The fair is always they I don't know what they doing to their little batter at the fair, but maybe old batter.
No,
For all I know.
anything fried at the fair.
Yeah, fried Oreos.
That's why you gotta be
Y'all
careful.
ever had a fried Oreo?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Jack Brown's does
I
them.
was just finna say that. Yep, Jack Brown got them.
They do the challenge where like if you can get the most in the month, then you get them all for free.
What?
I had a buddy eat 13.
Was that the most?
For at that point in the month it was, so he got them all for free. So the one in Murfreesboro is like an all-time most.
What is Jack Brown's?
It's like a burger spot.
Yeah.
In the borough?
No,
There's a couple locations.
Yeah. The one I know is over here. Is it by Vanderbilt?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. They have the best burger sauce you will ever have in your life.
It doesn't matter.
It don't matter where it is.
It doesn't matter. They have the best burger sauce you will ever have in your life.
Burger
It
sauce.
says good. Yeah, it says good though. I just had the fried Oreos from them.
Huh.
Yeah, never had the burger.
Are there any calories involved in
Shout
these
out to
fried
Gabby's.
Oreos?
Probably a little.
Where's Gabby's? Over by Old Greer?
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. That place
2:30 is
awesome.
over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They back up loud. I don't know how you get back up that loud.
But you said they listen to 3HL and Gabby's.
They do. That's our people.
Yeah.
Kenny the mailman?
He's in there?
No. Son is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Met him at Buffalo Wild Wings.
No, them are people right there. All of them in there, man. Gabby's know what to do.
Hey, if Gabby's ever wants to sponsor a 3HL lunch and bring us some lunch one day,
No, you just go over there before
We
they
went
go
to
start. They close by the time we start.
I know. So like
They'll be like, what's
can
up,
bring it up.
Seth?
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You go in there, all right.
He wasn't disagreeing with
I know
I would
you
disagree
wouldn't,
with
but I know you.
I just said I won some Gabby's.
Hey, real
did
quick,
argue with
let's get Johnny the Poet in here because he's out at Pebble Beach. He sent me a picture today that was pretty amazing with what was it, a big Rolex or something?
Hey, are you there?
Yeah, Poet, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, 3HLians? I'm just sitting here on number 18 at Pebble Beach, with sunny skies, beautiful weather. Thinking of my people back in Nashville. Just finished a round of 18 at Pebble, and I thought I'd check in with my favorite peoples.
Well, while you're doing that, we're going to dodge tornadoes here in a few hours.
I heard there's a twister coming through, but
how'd you do?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Number one, I listened to my caddy, and I sunk a 30-footer for par.
Wow.
I'm like, this is going to be easy.
Par's
Number
legal for me.
number two is a par 5, and I wanted to hit big dog, and my caddy told me to lay up, and I was told, listen to your caddy. I was putting for birdie, and I ended up 4-putting, and after that, it was kind of like Pavia's draft day after that. Just wasn't spectacular. But I hit the ball well, didn't score well. Unbelievable experience.
Well, me and Slay are really good at hole number 19.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's where I'm right now. I've got one of your Tennessee brands right in front of me, and it's pretty much the only thing I'm good at apparently in California. So it's an unbelievable experience. If you have a bucket list, put it on there because I'm a different person. I may give up poetry and just take up casual golf in California.
I think you should just walk around over there and just yell Jim Nance every once in a while and see if he responds or comes over to you.
Well, let's see. Hey, Jim Nance. Jim Nance.
He's going to kill us.
People are looking at me right now. This is not good.
All right, Paul.
Everybody's looking around.
Hey, it's good to hear from you. Glad you got to experience that. Life's about experiences. Good job, man.
Well, next time I'm bringing you, Brent. Just bring your 9 on, okay?
All right, sounds good. I'm bringing Slay if I'm going. All right, are we late for the break?
A little bit. By like 6 minutes.
Jim Wyatt coming up next, 3HL.
Different court, Blair.
Same result, Slay.
Oh, okay, Blair. See, that's Tyler Tanner. See, Tyler Tanner's in the house now.
Let's see what you got. Jerry's out, Blair.
Blair, come on. Okay, Blair, just come sit down. Come on, Blair, stop. You're going to get hurt. Blair, get off the court. That's enough.
What's the verdict, Blair?
The courtroom is where I play ball.
Boy, Durham, injury law. And that ain't got no roof.
Good Good afternoon, 4:05. Just Bonanno live from the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs Studios. Some NFL news today. Former Vanderbilt quarterback and Heisman runner-up Diego Pavia signed a UDFA deal with the Baltimore Ravens after going undrafted in this year's draft. 49ers free agent wide receiver Juwan Jennings visiting with the Minnesota Vikings tonight and on Wednesday. Russell Wilson was in with the Jets on a free agent visit earlier today, and the Steelers placed the rare UFA tender on Aaron Rodgers, meaning that he can accept a 10% raise off last year's salary, which would pay him about $15 million this season. As another condition of the tender, Rodgers would only be able to sign with the Steelers once training camp begins. For our foundation repair, whatever needs you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Tell 104.5 the zone, the dome, the drone,
all of it.
The zone.
Yeah, we all here. We ain't going nowhere.
How many more hours we got of this thing? I'm nervous about the weather coming in. Maybe that's what it is. Slay Dog is here, but we'll skip the intro because we got to get to Jim Wyatt. Jim Wyatt, TennesseeTitans.com joins us now. Jimmy, what's up? How are you?
Not too much. How you guys doing?
Doing well. We met Carnell Tate the other day. Also Keldrick Falk. And so let's start there. Titans go playmaker at 4. I am curious, had Love been there, would they have gone Love over Tate? We won't know, I guess, but definitely wanted to help the quarterback with that pick.
Yeah, and I certainly didn't hide the fact I like Love, and I think a lot of people did. I mean, a lot of people had him viewed as the top-rated player on the board, and yeah, I think if he's sitting there at 4, he's probably the pick. I mean, I don't think that would be a shock to a lot of people, and then you just have to pivot on what you have left, and I think Titans looked at Carnell Tate as a guy they knew exactly what they wanted to do with, how much you could help them, a 3-down, receiver who can get open downfield and has proven he can catch the ball, get a great weapon for Cam Ward. Look at some of the other guys that probably he was in contention with. And a lot of people in the mocks had Sonny Styles. A lot of people had Arvell Reese, and people had Reuben Bain. I think Titans viewed Tate differently, and those guys were viewed maybe differently as well. I mean, and look what the Giants are doing with Arvell Reese. They're playing him inside. I don't know what the Titans, they haven't said publicly how they were going to play him, but so are you getting the value there with the guy who's playing inside? You have to question that with Styles, maybe question that with Reese. And then with Tate, we have talked on this station a lot, and I know I've talked a heck of a lot about this team needing more playmakers at the receiver position across the board. It's been a big topic since the team's been in Tennessee, and the team had one in A.J. Brown, and now hope to have one of those type players in Carnell Tate. Time will tell, but I certainly think he's a really good player. You guys know, really good young man, and he's going to be fun to watch here with the Titans.
Jimmy, another guy, man, that piqued my interest, of course, Keldrick Falk, but I was going to go Anthony Hill, but you can hit Keldrick Falk first, though.
Yeah, I like Falk, too. I mean, I do. He had some really good moments at Auburn. I'm sure Dawn could attest to. I know she's not there, but
she was very happy, Jimmy.
Yeah, I bet she was, because she's seen him and make some really good plays, and he's flashed. And there's also been some times I know where he needs to be a little bit more consistent, and I think that's what the next step will be in the National Football League for him, is just getting the most out of him. But he's got the size, 6'5", 274. When he's been good, he's been really good. And now you get him in here and have a chance to work with him. It bolsters your defensive front. And I don't think they thought he'd be waiting around for him when they were picking in the second round. They moved up to give him at 31. And so give yourself 2 first-round picks and and it was cool seeing Tate and Falk just kind of already starting to build their relationship. The first day they rode back together, hung around, made the rounds together like they went with you guys. You could tell they already hit it off a little bit. So that's going to be fun to watch them.
That is interesting because usually it's, one guy comes in, does everything by himself and, with the team and all that. And I didn't really even think about it until the Titans put out the video, maybe you did, of them walking into the facility together and kind of smiling with each other. And then we asked him about that, and they said, yeah, man, it's been great, like, doing this together. And Slay goes, kind of takes pressure off, too, doesn't it? And they were like, yeah, and laughed about it. But they'll be connected, right, like, throughout their career.
They will be. And the last time I think that happened was when it was Corey Davis and Adoree Jackson. Those two guys were on the flight back together after the draft, and Tate and Falk,
That's right.
I think for the longest time it was looking like it was just, and that's the only time I can remember that happened. But looking like Tate was going to be the pick, and then they slide back in and get Falk, and certainly the Titans hit the daily double with that one. It worked against me. I was supposed to be on the team flight on the team jet coming back on Friday morning. When we got the second player, I got bumped back to my Southwest flight that left about 5:45 in the morning. So I had to sleep. I didn't go to sleep on Thursday night. I left the draft, went and got a couple pieces of pizza with other people we were there with, packed the bags, and headed straight for their Southwest flight. So Keldrick Falk bumped me off that flight.
He got to produce because, Jimmy, you don't do nothing but produce for the Titans. So he got to live up to it.
Yeah, he's got a little more clout than I do.
Does he know that story? That's pretty funny.
I don't think he does, but I certainly it was pretty funny. But I was glad to see him on there, and I made it back, made it fine, and got Southwest points.
There you go.
Because of it. I think it was worth about 4,500 Southwest points. That was
good. What about Anthony Hill Jr.? Impressed with him, Jimmy? What you got to see from him, cover him?
Yeah, I mean, that guy is long, and he's athletic, and he plays, he plays with a heck of a lot of energy. And, I was talking to Taylor Zarzer in here a little bit earlier today because he covered that Texas-Mississippi State game down in Starkville this year, and was talking about how Hill in that game had 3 sacks and 4 tackles for a loss, was all over the field. He has a chance to really be good and has a chance to start. I mean, I think the Titans have got some changing. It's changing times for the Titans defense, from the scheme, the personnel, what they're going to be asking guys to do. And this is a guy that was kind of handpicked to step in there and compete. And Dave Ziegler, talked today, the team's assistant GM, after Mike Berganzi talked on Saturday, and just kind of raved about him and how much is on him to earn a spot. And it starts with how he prepares, on the field, in the classroom, in the weight room, in the cafeteria. But he's the type of guy that loves football. You can tell what he's all about. I was so impressed listening to him on this conference call, just pretty much naming every linebacker in the league and guys that he's watched growing up. I mean, he's all about football, and I can guarantee you he's coming here ready to hit the ground running.
I mean, All-American, freshman All-American, All-American. I mean, and just watching the film, that you can line that guy up almost anywhere. And he can cover. He can get after the quarterback. He's good against the run. Now, he does get washed up a little bit sometimes, but everybody's got their things. You can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Please.
At TitanMG is an Auburn fan. He goes, ha, Falk getting Jimmy back for that overtime loss Vandy put on us.
That was pretty funny. I didn't think about that, but even though he's from, I was kidding him after he got picked. He's from Highland Home, Alabama. A lot of people probably don't know where Highland Home, Alabama is, but if you look at the map, and I know, Brent, you've made that trip down to the Panhandle many a times.
Yep.
Probably some people go through Andalusia now and then make your way over. Used to be you'd go through Montgomery and straight down 331.
That's right.
And you go right through Highland Home, Alabama to get there. So you've probably been through his hometown a dozen times in your life.
Yep.
And so that's where he's from. And So maybe that is some payback for that Vandy win over Auburn.
It's funny.
At least one of the Vanderbilt wins over Auburn.
My brain gets triggered in so many weird ways, but I've told this story on the air. The funniest thing for me on that trip down to the Panhandle, we were going through Opp, Alabama, and right as we go see the sign for Opp, Alabama, You Down with OPP comes on the radio.
Let you know. You're here.
Which is incredible.
You're here.
Nick Singleton, running back, Penn State. So 5-star player coming out of high school, 1,000 yards his freshman season, picked Penn State over Alabama, LSU, among others. And then something happened last year. I'm not sure what happened there, but an intriguing prospect, definitely somebody we're going to need to pay attention to.
Yeah, part of it in Penn State just not being a very good football team and not being able to run it like they maybe had. It's funny, his production, his yard rushing total was way down last year compared to previous years, but his touchdowns were way up. I think he was right at 560 rushing yards after he'd run for 1,000 before, but then he scored 12 touchdowns. Then he had an injury that he was dealing with too, but he was a phenom coming out of high school, just really a highly ranked recruit, went there, very successful, put up over 5,000 all-purpose yards during his time at Penn State, whether it's running it, catching it, returning kicks. So he's big, 6 foot, 219, and they think he's going to be a player not just that can help them this year, but could help them for years to come. And I kind of thought if Love wasn't the pick that they might just be okay at running back, just because they do have some numbers there with Pollard and Spears and Michael Carter and Mullings but I think they got a situation where at 165 this guy was just too good to not take, and now that puts somebody's spot in real jeopardy trying to make this team. I didn't mention Julius Chestnut there either, who's stuck around here for a long time. So they've suddenly got some numbers at that position, and I would feel pretty good about Nick Singleton being one of those guys that's going to make this team based on what I've seen so far from him.
Well, and what I read about him is that he's a foot-in-the-ground guy, meaning he's going to put his foot in the ground and get north and south, which fits in perfectly with Dayball in that zone run scheme. The one thing Detillier told us was he got into a habit last year of trying to beat people to the corner, and that he's got to get out of that. And certainly in the NFL, you'll learn that quickly. But, that's an intriguing one. Also, with the draft picks, they like the number 0. So Carnell Tate was 0 drops. Pat Coogan was 0 sacks allowed in 483 pass block snaps. Interesting prospect there that kind of fell there at round 6 that could end up competing and winning a job at some point.
Yeah, and speaking of zeros, Anthony Hill wore 0, if I'm not mistaken, and so did Jackie Marshall, the big defensive tackle.
I keep forgetting about Jackie Marshall.
Yeah, I mean, he's telling the story about how he earned 0 because, at Baylor, which I didn't realize, you earn your single digits, and Jackie Marshall busted it last offseason and was rewarded with that 0 to start the year. So what his work ethic is about coming in here. But Coogan, this guy played, was a regular starter for Notre Dame, then goes to Indiana and starts for their national championship team. I don't know if you guys have watched the motivational speeches he gives before the games in the tunnel. If you haven't, Google Pat Coogan and motivational speech, and you'll see him huddling the team around him, inspiring guys, dropping a few F-bombs in there. So, he is a guy that's going to rally the troops and certainly is a great leader, and take a great get there in the 6th round, 194. That's an interior line position with him and Fernando Carmona that's in it, that's going to make things interesting, competing with Slotman and Volson and Jackson Slater, and then probably some players to be named later, because I do think there's still going to be some competition in that group. But 2 intriguing guys that are now a part of it in Fernando and Big Pat Coogan, who was a high school teammate of Carnell Tate.
Yeah, that's right, in Chicago. Is it Schlotman or Slotman?
I had thought initially it was Slotman, and I asked somebody about that, and they said, "Oh yeah, everybody calls him Slotty, so it must be Slotty." But then I have heard other people tell me it's Sloatman, so I don't know that 100% yet.
Okay.
I haven't crossed paths. Well, I did cross paths with him, and probably should have gotten to the bottom of it at that point. But in time, we'll get the answer to that.
Jimmy, anybody cross your radar that has gotten invited to Ricky minicamp coming up Saturday?
Well, I know probably 11, and we haven't put the group of undrafteds out there yet because these guys got to come here and sign and pass the physical. I think I've seen a number of around 11 undrafted guys that are agreed to terms, but will still need to sign. And then when rookie camp starts this weekend, I think you could see a number of that's close to 50 of tryout guys are going to be here competing with these undrafted guys in kind of a rookie minicamp gathering, which is going to take place on Friday and Saturday here after these guys report on Thursday. So it's always interesting, these rookie minicamps, because some of these undrafted guys sign, and then the rookie guys have to come here, the minicamp tryout guys come in here and try to make a name for themselves, and then it never fails. You end up swapping some of these guys out. And I think competition now is going to be better than it's ever been in these camps. You know, this team has a lot of veterans on it. Some of these undrafted this year, some of these tryout guys probably graded pretty close to the same. And so be interested to see just how things kind of go this weekend, and anybody can steal a couple of spots.
Yeah, so
like maybe my man Diego Pavia is going to try to do in Baltimore.
Yeah, 3-year deal he signed, which is kind of rare in those scenarios. So good for him. So is it just rookies, or have they opened that thing up to like second-year guys too? I can't remember.
I think it's just rookies. Yeah, okay. Sometimes you'll have a guy with like I don't know, less than a year experience that maybe is cleared to be out here. A lot of times that's when you're hurting for numbers. Again, I don't think they're hurting for numbers this year.
Right.
I think you're going to have. I think you have a pretty big group out here trying out with the undrafted guys, and of course the draft picks will be out here. You will have some minicamp tryout veterans, so it won't just be rookies. But they're like you said, Brent. Like there have been some years where some guys on the 90-man roster that have been out here before as Titans have been out there. I think you'll have some minicamp veterans trying out, but I don't know that you'll have any guys that are actually going through the off-season program right now.
Well, Slay wants to be the green dot, so he'll probably be out there. He'll be one of those 50 out there this week. He feels great with that new knee.
I'm just feeling comfortable talking to the green dot. That's all, Jimmy.
I'd like to see Big Ron out here running around. But it give me a flashback to the back in the 90s when I was watching him at Pearl Cone and then up at Hill Academy.
Yeah, and you were covering prep and everything, and he was leading the state in receiving, and then basketball happened.
Yeah, no, then Santonio Beard and John Henderson happened.
And Father Ryan happened.
I was on the Pearl Cone beat back then.
Sure was.
There's enough to write about out there just following that group around. That was being out there covering those teams helped prepare me for what I'm doing now.
Well, it was your boys at Father Ryan that got him out. He just knocked his helmet right off his head.
Yeah, the Mondelli brothers.
The Mondelli brothers.
Yeah. Tried to crack back on one of them, Jimmy. I ain't been right since.
Yeah, you got to keep your head on the swivel when those Ryan guys out there.
Yeah,
that's on the field and maybe in the back alley somewhere.
Exactly.
We used to joke about that all the time, and then we ran into one of the Mondelli brothers.
Yeah, they know it.
Thank you, Jimmy. Good stuff, man. Appreciate you.
Okay, y'all have a good week. Appreciate it.
All right, there's Jim Wyatt at Jay Wyatt Sports, TennesseeTitans.com. When we come back, I've got an interesting basketball stat for Slade. That's next. 3 Jump.
I want to tell you about Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. So you guys have heard me talk about Pella forever because I love them and they're the best. And they replaced our windows and our doors in my rental property and our home. So this is the reason that I ended up having to call Pella. The windows in our home, little tiny microscopic bugs would end up on my windowsills. And it was because my windows were failing. And so all these little bugs would get in. And so we had to replace those windows. And I used Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville. And they were the absolute best. And I can tell such a difference in how cool our house now stays in the summer as opposed to prior to new windows. So maybe that's you. Maybe you know your windows are failing. I know it's not the sexiest thing in the world to do new windows and doors. But if you know you have to do it, Pella is the one you need to call. And they let me give you a Dawn deal every single month. It changes. And for the month of April, 55% off Pella certified labor and 0% APR. For 24 months, you have 2 full years to pay off your windows and doors and an additional 5% off materials. Easiest way to get a hold of them, just tell them you want the Dawn deal. Schedule your free consultation online. Your website, PellaNashville.com.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. It is Tupac Tuesday.
Man.
On the big show.
Yep.
Tomorrow we'll be at the, is it the Big Orange Caravan or the UT Caravan?
Big Orange Caravan.
Always Big Orange. Big Orange, baby. Big Orange Caravan.
I think you should end up with a mic in your hand at some point.
He did last year?
I did last year.
Oh, they did call you up there. I forgot about that.
May not this year.
Who was Mike Keith emceeing it last year?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
It was year one for Mike Keith.
Yeah, and then I just remember as we were packing up and leaving, I turn around and Slay's up on the stage.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened, but it happened.
And then Rick Barnes is giving him crap.
Yep, that's Rick. Everybody being themselves, y'all. That's what it sounds like. What it sound like to me?
That was a cool little venue.
No, that was a great venue.
That was at Nashville last year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's at
Marathon Music Works.
Marathon Music Works.
So, you know
Which
what?
is a cool venue, too.
That's a little harder to get on stage up there at Marathon Music Works.
Yeah, you got to walk up the stairs and everything.
I'm sure you'll find your way somewhere.
The bar's at the back of the room, the stage at the front of the room, and there's a lot of space between the two things.
Bingo.
All it takes is Mike Keith looking out in the crowd and seeing you standing over everybody.
But last year they didn't even tell you they were going to do that. And I think it was more Rick Barnes than anything, wasn't it?
Yep. Oh, Ricky.
And then Rick started a discussion with you.
Mm-hmm. That's what he'll do.
Brought Kim Caldwell in.
Yep, sure did. That's who I can't wait to talk to.
Kim Caldwell?
Yeah, we ain't heard nothing from him.
Where did it fall apart?
She
I mean, that's
the question.
Have to ask.
Yep.
They finished.
What'd you learn from it?
They finished putting the roster together, right? Or did they have one more spot left?
I mean, every time I think they're done, I get home. Like it's on the way home, and I get an alert that they added some other player.
Like
I think she has like 27 players now.
Right. Like you
Shout
put
out
a
Troy
roster
Fleming.
together. Like who are the players though? Like we don't know.
Shout out Troy Fleming.
So Fox Sports Knoxville says 7 hours ago they had one more spot to fill for the roster. Do you want the list of players?
I don't know. No.
No, because I went through them last week, and it was already like 9 deep or 10 deep.
12 transfers.
Yeah.
2 high school additions.
So 14? They got 15 spots?
Yeah, now.
Damn. I did watch the Lady Vols take down Alabama last night.
Man.
That was the first series that Alabama's lost this year in softball. Mm-hmm. Carla Pickens, man. You want to talk about a competitor, dude. Woo! When she gets a strikeout, especially to end an inning, I mean, the whole world knows.
She's a monster.
Yeah.
11.
I love they got Monica Abbott calling games now, too.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, I've been catching on a couple of them. Mm-hmm.
She's something.
11 strikeouts in 5 innings last night for Carlin Pickens. She was touching 79 again, which she's got the record for the fastest pitch in softball history at 79.2.
She was funny. She got into the 7th inning, and it was, what was it, 4-0?
4-0, yep.
Yeah. It's like, she's in complete control. Yeah. He just said 5 strikeouts, 11 batters, whatever it was.
11 strikeouts, 5 innings.
There you go. And, I mean, she let one rip, and it was like Wild Thing Vaughn in Major League. Mm-hmm. I mean, that thing went so far up the net. The batter looked at the pit, looked where it went, looked back at Carlin, and then I think she had no idea what was coming next.
I think she had amped herself up there because she just gave up a pinch hit home run.
Yeah.
To make it 4-1, and then she walked a girl on first, and then so I think she was amped up. So after that one, she's like, "All right, calm down." She logged right back in, struck out the next 3 guys.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised she did that on purpose. Yeah. Hey man, you don't know what's coming.
She's a dog. I know that.
I mean, a dog.
Yeah.
She got the golden ticket.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was, and they kept putting it on social media, and they didn't explain what it meant. And
what is it, though?
It basically means she's guaranteed to get drafted into the pro softball draft, which
I didn't even know there was pro softball.
They don't take
came last year or the year before last. It might have been, or this is the first year.
I don't know.
I heard a lot of talk about it.
They had Jenny Finch
something
out
like
there.
that.
Yeah.
It's very new, so
they had Jenny Finch out there giving her the golden ticket, but they didn't explain what it was. Sometimes you get lost into what you do and don't understand. Hey, maybe some people were watching that don't understand everything that's going on.
I haven't watched any of this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's a new. I did hear about the league. I want to say it's either a year old or this is the first year.
It's the she's the 5th player to receive it to the 2026 AUSL College Draft, which basically means she's guaranteed to get.
You still didn't answer Slay's question.
Yeah, I genuinely don't know. I'm looking.
I was sitting there waiting on you.
It was like yesterday. Anybody hear me?
Nope. I guess apparently today they don't either.
Note from Ryan.
Consistent.
Note from Ryan Shumpert of Rocky Top Insider about the change in Tennessee's men's basketball roster. Did you see this?
No.
Tennessee's 6 outgoing transfers averaged 31.8 points per game last season and made a combined 52 threes. The Vols' 6 incoming transfers averaged a combined 85.9 points and made 280 threes last year.
Yeah.
So kind of to go along with what you and Low Dog were talking about yesterday, this isn't one of those Rick Barnes teams that has 2 scoring options.
Yep.
It's like you guys were saying, they have 4 or 5 players. Currently, they have 2 spots still open.
Right.
But 4 or 5 guys that can go get it right now, and that the style will be drastically different perhaps in that they have the ability to run up and down the floor now.
It makes a huge difference. Makes a huge difference when trying to defend that, man. I'm interested to see how it meshes, how long it takes. I'm also interested to see what they're going to do over there on West End. Because I think, man, like, as powerful as Diego Pavia was, for him to be able to come back and them be in the talks in football, like top 25 and challenging to be able to keep things rolling, that's how I feel the weight is on Tyler Tanner. If Tyler Tanner is able to come back and go to Vanderbilt and play for them, they got something good. But if he don't, it's a different ball game too. That's one of the only two-way players in college basketball, like consistently. There's a couple out there. Christian Anderson is one.
For those that don't know, play as hard on the defensive end
as offense, and is impactful. So it's gonna be interesting.
And they got the transfer from Missouri who lit Tennessee up last year.
And then Carey went to Missouri.
So what's the story with Tanner? Just he may go pro?
Yeah, that's from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I understand, like, I'm gonna look back on. Let me look back on my little sheet, but he that's a difference maker right there, brother. Jeez.
All right, Hulk Hogan. Man, I watched the Hulk Hogan documentary.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it on?
Netflix.
Okay.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Yeah, that's him.
615-737-1045. Mike in Old Hickory, it's been a minute.
What?
Mike, what's up, man?
Well, thanks for letting me on. I just want to ask, now the draft is pretty much, done, and for Tennessee, what do you think the NIL has done to infect the NFL? Now, the NIL has affected all sports, including especially college. And then I want to ask, and give me an honest answer, you guys.
I mean, there's no opinion really involved for me. It's just a lot of these guys are older than they were in previous draft classes, and I think you'll continue to see that go. Where guys make more money staying in college as opposed to being like a third-round draft pick. Does that make sense?
Yep, and it does. And then as far as the Titans are concerned, is that hurting or helping our chances in the this season?
Well,
the Titans in particular, or all of the NFL?
I don't think it changes based on team.
Yeah.
I don't think it's impactful at all, honestly.
Really? So in other words, the players we pick, do they have NIL contracts that are paying more than the NFL minimum? So are they going to actually sign the deal to come to an NFL minimum when they're already getting paid more?
Yeah, they don't get, once you get drafted, you don't get to go back. You don't get to go back and say, once they.
Unless you're Alabama.
They're in the process, and then the draft's taking place is over with. They don't get the opportunity to say, man, you know what? I would have been making more at college. I'm back out of this thing again. I'm going to go back to college.
So the NFL stops them from doing that, is what you're saying? Because I'm just a fan out here. This NIL thing has really screwed things up. So I just want to ask,
Yeah, the
if a guy
NCAA stops it. Like you can't football. You're not able. Basketball, they've got that gray area where some funny stuff is going on, but NFL is not going through the draft process, getting to one of these NFL teams, and before you go through rookie minicamp saying, "Nah, you know what? I ain't gonna go with this. I'm gonna go back to college. You can't go back."
So what you're saying is then that the guy, the NAL guy who's making say $3 million a year, comes to Tennessee, and Tennessee says, "Hey, we're only going to draft you at NFL minimum." Can he skip the draft then for a year, keep his $3 million NIL, or does he have to go to the NFL, take the $750,000, whatever the minimum is?
If he still has eligibility, he shouldn't. He's not even coming out there.
Well,
yeah, the NFL debate is over once they decide to enter the draft. Once they decide to enter the draft, the NIL stuff is done.
It stops,
and so then
done.
Yeah. And then all the contracts are slotted, really.
Oh, then let me ask you this. I'm not a lawyer, but let me ask you this.
Nor are we, believe me.
So the player comes to Tennessee, gives up his NIL because that's the NFL rules. He signs the contract with Tennessee. Then he says, "You know what? I want my NIL back." Can you do it?
Nah. Nope.
That's over with.
You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
Yeah, that's going to another player.
I do have a question, though, Mike, while we have you. What did you think about the Carnell Tate pick at number 4?
Look, you guys are the ones with the picks. I'm the one that wants to win a Super Bowl big time. I'm a sort of I look at the big picture, and I just don't like looking at players, this and that. But, well, maybe that guy's an NIL. Is he NIL?
No, his NIL days are over.
Well, but did he have an NIL contract when we picked him at number 4?
No, NIL's a college thing.
Yeah, that's strictly for college. Once college is once you're
I understand. So we picked him at 4. He's in college, right? He's in college, right?
He's done with college.
No, you picked him at 4. He was in the NFL draft, going through the draft process.
Mike, I love you, but, man, I got to go to break. This is making my head hurt. Thank you.
I will say, to answer his very first question, which was actually like...
I love you, Mike.
Which is like a really good question. Like, how has NIL like affected the NFL? Mike Bergonzi was asked about that before the draft, and he goes, well, our day 3 like draft options are much more limited because the guys that would be a day 3 grade, they're just choosing to go back instead of coming out early.
That's right. But as time goes on, it'll all kind of, rising water raises all boats. So it'll balance itself out.
I've never in my life been in like the side of the Twilight Zone. I've only watched it on TV. I think I was just in it. I think Mike just had me in the Twilight Zone.
We need a Rod Sterling.
I was confused.
Is that the guy's name?
I understood and was still confused. That was amazing.
Same.
My head hurts. I knew what Mike was talking about.
Yeah, me too.
But couldn't answer it after answering it.
But I felt like we did answer it several times.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But he brought it back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thomas Allen in the chat didn't like my little remark at Alabama there.
But Mike went on and on about Cam Ward, remember?
He did.
That's why, that was Zeph's idea to ask him about number 4 because he does like talking about players. Yeah.
Do you remember Mike, the Shador versus Cam Ward conversation pre-draft last year? And Don hated it. It was hilarious. He got under Don's skin a couple times.
That was a lot.
I think he enjoys that. All right, Mike. Shout out, Mike.
Dang.
We tried.
Eric Edholm.
Mike said that the NIL go with them.
Around the NFL. And I'm not laughing at people that don't know the answer to these questions, but I felt like we answered it multiple times.
I am laughing at the question and me for answering. Like, what? Yes.
This guy's posting draft power rankings next. Where are the Titans? I'll tell you.
Wow. Hey, man. Woo. Hey, man, let me tell you, I want to go to get something good to eat.
Wait, this is like, remember when Bav said that we're all dead and the world ended in 2012? I kind of think that might be the way now.
Man, Mike took us through there. He took us through there. Here we go. I'm going to take y'all through there. I'm going to take y'all to Shoney's. All you care to eat fresh food bar, where you always know what's going on because the very best value will be right there sitting on the bar. It don't get better than that. Or you could go to the extensive menu where they got the All-American burger, baked spaghetti, and, of course, breakfast served all day long. But go to the bar, go to the all you care to eat fresh food bar, and it's all right there as well. But the world-famous hot fudge cake, that's where you want to go really get. You get the extra scoop of ice cream, vanilla. For me, they got groups where you can get family meals to go for 4, 6, 8, or 12. Enough for anybody. The work get together, the family, it doesn't matter. They got 4 locations for you, too. That's Clarksville, Dixon, Lebanon, and on Donaldson Pike in Nashville. Shoney's, let's eat.
3HL 104.5, the zone. That's twice.
So is.
What are we doing?
Somewhere else, yeah.
Who let us in here? I was almost right with the Rod Sterling, I said, with the when you mentioned Twilight Zone. He was like the voice of Twilight Zone.
Mm-hmm.
It's Serling, no T. Rod Serling.
Serling, okay.
But he was interested in sports, Serling was. He wanted to try out for varsity football, but they wouldn't let him. He was told he was too small. He's 5'4". But so he did this voice of the Twilight Zone thing. He won 6 Emmy Awards, this guy. Only lived to 51. But I'm always interested by the Wikipedia pages because it says his dad, before Serling, Rod Serling was born, his father had worked as a secretary and an inventor.
Huh.
How do you work as an inventor? Like, I'm just going to sit in this cubicle and invent things for 8 hours a day?
Just started making stuff.
You got to get one thing to stick.
Boy, there's some pressure there. I mean, how many things do you have to invent
You can do
to,
it.
like, keep your job?
You could probably. Here we go. What you got, Zelf?
All right, Zelf.
The
Juke.
long-awaited. No, it does have to do with basketball. The long-awaited disappointment that they're going to ruin one of the greatest postseason things in sports. The March Madness tournament is expanding to 76 teams. Both the men's and women's. It will begin next season.
Well, 76 is a lot better than whatever they're talking. What were they talking about, 92?
See, that's where the problem was going to lie. So it looks like with that, you know how they have the first 4 play in?
Yeah.
That'll be just 4 more games. So we'll expand to 12 games played by 24 teams at 2 different sites.
When is this? Immediately?
Starts next season.
It'll be for this year coming up.
So they're gonna they're gonna
they're ready.
They're gonna formalize it. They're doing the final steps right now. It'll be formalized and like put on paper in the next couple of weeks. Probably mid-May is what Pete Thamel's reporting. And the 76 team tournaments begin next year for both men's and women's.
So instead of
coaches love it.
Yeah, 8 teams, you get 4 more teams, right?
So instead of the first 4, it's gonna be the first 8?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
68 to 76?
Yep. There it is. So
also, happy birthday to the United States of America, 250 this year.
Today?
This year.
It's not July 4th.
Yeah, you're right.
Do you know how I got there?
I don't know. I have no clue.
76 teams, 1776.
Good job, Yor.
Thank you.
You always own it.
Good job, Yor. I still want to know how you can, hey, man, I want to be an inventor. That's what I want to do for a living.
You lock yourself in a room. Come on, that's jail. They didn't invent.
All you need is a big bottle of tequila or something. You'll invent plenty of things.
Then forget how you did it.
All right, Randy in Nolansville wants to clarify Mike's question.
Oh, come on, Randy. Please be
Randy, let's go.
Yeah, well, first of all, instead of the first 4, it's going to the first 12. They're adding 8 more teams plus the 4 that's there, but that's neither here nor there.
No. That's what we said.
No, I think I said first 8.
Oh, Slay said 12.
Yeah. Sorry, math isn't my strong suit.
That's all right. Hey, I think what Mike was asking was the guy that got drafted at 4, what was his NIL contract before he got drafted? And that way he could tell how good he was. If he's only getting $1,000, he's not worth the 4th pick. If he's getting $5 million in NIL, he's probably worth the 4th round, number 4 pick.
Okay.
I think that's what he was trying to get at.
Okay, Randy. Yeah, I didn't think it was a bad question. I think Mike comes up with things that I've never thought somebody might ask me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree with that, but I think that's what he was trying to judge how good it was based on what his NIL contract was.
Okay, well, let me nix that then. So, Mike, thanks to Randy, do not judge the draft pick off of what they were getting for NIL.
He got $1.5 million reportedly.
Yeah, okay, so
year.
don't do that. Because
we kind of went around that topic with him, and he just smiled at us. Like, I mean, he's not going to tell us.
No.
So
I mean, it'll be just like, so Nico Maliava was getting, what, $4 million, $3 million, something like that?
4, I think.
Yeah, so, I mean, with his draft, so you had to be the number 1 pick, or you had to be a top 5 pick, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, let's not go off.
Well, thank you, Randy. Appreciate it. The other thing, like, I was paying the water bill, as you like to say it, during the break, and I was thinking about Mike's call. And then I started to think, was he asking, does the NIL deal carry over?
That's what I think he was.
To the
that's
NFL?
what I thought he was asking.
And the answer to that is NFL players have had, in air quotes, NIL deals forever.
Mm-hmm.
So, once you go pro,
you
got your own marketing
those
deals
are called
and
endorsements.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they rolling right along with that. If you can carry it over, yes, carry it over.
So the same company could do it, but they would have to sign another contract, a new contract.
There you go, y'all.
We got this figured out.
We here now.
I really thought the world stopped there for a second.
No, that was wild. Mike, call back.
You want Mike to call back?
If he can make it even more wild than that, I'll give him something. Whatever you want, Mike. Like a free ticket to see a little babies run around at a carnival. Anything.
What?
Like, it's got to be
something. How about a corn
wild.
dog from Sonic?
Yeah, Mike, corn dog for Sonic on me. If you call back and you can make it just as thought-provoking as you just did.
Should we make that one of our giveaways? Go eat lunch at Sonic and share a corn dog with Slay?
No. I mean, for that kind of deal, we need to call Sonic and they need to advertise with us.
No, not sharing, but like you each have your own corn dog.
Oh, yeah.
Like
you can do it.
Well, that sounds a little weird.
Yeah, they can be in their car and I'll be in mine.
Yeah, but you're like right next. You're in the stall right next to each other. Yeah, I mean you got it covered.
He can roll his window
Do
down
they
for
still
me.
have car hops at Sonic that use roller skates?
Yeah, but it's
Rarely?
particular ones. Yeah. Yep.
It's the professionals.
Yep. It is.
Not like the high school kids. Yeah.
Eric Edholm, and we'll hit this again when we come back, but I said I would, so I'm going to do it. Has his post-draft power rankings going on, and a lot of guys are doing this. But top 10 are Seahawks, Rams, Broncos, Bills, and Ravens. Those are the top 5, followed by the 49ers at 6, Texans at 7, Chiefs, Patriots, Eagles, top 10. So in terms of the AFC South, Texans, number 1 at number 7, if that makes sense. Jacksonville, number 2 at number 14 overall. Indianapolis, number 3 in the division, number 19 overall. And the Titans, I mentioned yesterday, where are they? And Babs was like, 32. I was like, no. And she goes, 31. No. He's got him at 25, Slay.
Who's this?
Eric Edholm, around the NFL.
What did he do?
He's got the power rankings post-draft, like just as they sit right now with all the offseason moves. That's the highest I've seen the Titans in like 3 years.
Yeah, I'm just waiting
on anybody's list.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know who Eric Edholm is. I thought he was a hockey player, but
it sounded like at home.
We'll be right back.
What's happening, good people? Vita Nova, I'm coming to you to let you know exactly what the stem cell professionals are offering. They're offering 20% off all stem cell and exosome therapies for autism candidates throughout the entire month of April. Why? Because it's Autism Awareness Month. Dr. Mehta is leading this charge, a board-certified regenerative medicine specialist with years of experience treating neurological disorders using advanced stem cell and exosome therapies. Dr. Mehta and the team at Vita Nova are dedicated to helping support families with real regenerative options. If you're exploring new possibilities for your loved ones, now's the time. Call Vita Nova at 615-801-8005 today or visit VitaNovaTN.com for details. 20% off all month long. 615-801-8005. Vita Nova, stem cell.
Good evening. It is 5:07. I'm Joseph Badano live from 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports at the Kentucky Down Studios. Big story of the day came out just a few moments ago. The NCAA has initiated the final steps to expand the men's and women's NCAA basketball tournaments to 76 teams, up from 64. The expansion is on track to be formalized in the upcoming weeks with mid-May as the target, and the 76-team tournaments will begin next year. For all your foundation repair, waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Bring it who's at once on your home for the Titans and Balls. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Three y'all, 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. Head on a swivel, y'all.
Uh-oh.
Bad storms last night. At least one tornado. Hope you guys are okay. Just wanted to make you weather aware as we sit here rolling through the Tuesday edition of 3HL. We just looked at the radar. There is a line of precipitation. Very colorful on the radar.
Yeah.
From green to red.
Like it's going to get a little nasty.
Yeah, magenta is the color you don't want to see.
With no gentas.
But it's just to the west of us. So I think they think the rain will start about 6 o'clock.
That's down West Tennessee? Or when you say to the west of us? Or
I mean, not that far. Like 100 miles.
Oh, it ain't. It's right here then.
It's about to be here. Yep. Slay Dog is here.
I'm in the building.
76 team tournament now in college basketball.
76 is the number, y'all.
Well, men's and women. Women's, man, that first round's already painful.
Yeah, that's going to be even more wild. So,
because the high seeds and the low seeds, there is such a gap in the women's game.
The only good thing about it is they'll have it coupled where it'll be those teams that are on the bubble playing the other team that's on the bubble.
Wasn't UConn up like 65-8 or something in their first round game this year? It was something weird like that.
No. They were I know what you're talking about. I don't know if that was a score, but it was big.
it was a lot.
It was like 55-10 or something.
Yeah. But there was some teams taking care of business too, though. So it's all for, you know what I mean, just like the college football playoff, for these coaches to be able to say, hey man, now look, we made it to the tournament. You know what I mean? Like,
so did 75 other teams.
Exactly. Like, let me keep my job. You know what I mean? So
can't wait to hear Rick Barnes' thoughts on this tomorrow.
And
Kim Caldwell.
5 o'clock hour.
Both of them.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be in the tournament. But they don't have to play them, though, until later.
Yeah, does that also push, like...
excuse me.
I don't know how to schedule. Would that push like things back like a week?
Also,
that's another thing.
More home court situations?
Nah, all of it will be in Dayton.
No, I mean on the women's side.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do with that.
Some
they
teams
may
have
get a
3
central
home
location
games.
for that too, though.
You think so? Bring him here. Bring him here.
Yeah, we take him.
Yeah,
we love it.
Hell yeah.
Bring him. We like the sport. Especially women's basketball. I'm telling you, it's a hotbed right here, man.
It is.
Always going to be there, too. So
Jelani Cambridge stayed at Ohio State?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It is interesting.
She's going to be a junior, right?
Yep.
So she could go after that.
Yeah.
She could cash in. Well, she might not need to cash in. Hell if I know.
No, she can cash.
She's good.
Yeah. She's cashing right now. Like
she could pay for corn dogs at Sonic.
Oh, yeah. Every Monday for her. It'd be easy for 99 cents.
Every Monday.
No, like that's, hey, man.
Wait, why do you have a clear bag? You going to like a Bridgestone
I don't know
Arena
why they
thing?
gave me this. We Grow Hair gave me this.
Oh.
I guess they won't.
You can go in the Bridgestone Arena with that thing.
But with the little spray and everything, too?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Is it what is it, 5.4 ounces? Babs keeps up with all that stuff.
No, this 20 ounces right here, yo.
20,
one of them is
20,
1.5. You got to be low. You got to be on the low end. But I pulled this out to take a Tylenol.
Okay.
And the reason being is because Mike from Old Hickory called in and sent me here and got me to the point where I got to pop extra strength Tylenol because my brain was working. And then, like, I think Mike was like a Waymo. I had no driver of my brain anymore. I was just rolling through, listening to Mike's directions, and I don't know where I was going. But
we saw Moses works with us, sent us a video of Waymo yesterday, and there was a video in Atlanta where there were 3 Waymos lined up at a red light, but it was a flashing red light. So they thought it was a red light. So all 3 of these cars are lined up perfectly like they're about to start a race. And everybody got out of their cars because they couldn't get around them.
Yo, well, I'm telling you, man, there's nothing on earth that's crazier than a person that's too smart. I'm telling you, you can be so smart, you can be dumb. The Waymo cars are so smart, they're dumb. They're doing dumb stuff. That's how smart they are. So, Waymo, y'all get it together, man. Mike, if you're in control of the Waymos, you get it together because you just Waymo'd me. I just had my first Waymo moment on the air. Thanks to Mike from Old Hickory. And I just popped some Tylenol for us, so now I'm coming back, y'all.
Just in time.
Just in time. We got another hour. Y'all call in if you need me.
We have only 40 minutes.
Yeah, well, I'll be right here.
Not even that with breaks. Are you going to do a parlay at the end of the show?
I need to do yeah, if I hit one. I ain't hit one since, well, if I would have stayed with hockey, I would have hit one.
You can't
Basketball
hit one if you don't
been throwing me off.
You can't hit one if you don't do it.
Let me get it right.
Can't win if you don't play, Slay. That's what Rebecca told us. Mike, you Waymo'd me.
She did.
From Front Office Sports, Slay sent this to us. Something to think about when professional athletes sign contracts. And it's funny because, like, they have to pay taxes where they play games.
Yeah.
So, like, for Major League Baseball guy, that's a thing.
Right.
NFL, it's a thing, but fewer games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, in terms of state income tax, top NFL draft picks will pay based on their rookie contract.
Mm-hmm.
Based on the state that their home state.
Right.
They're, going to be home state. Number 1, Fernando Mendoza. Las Vegas, 0 income tax dollars. Number 4 pick, Carnell Tate. Tennessee, 0.
Sound like great places to be right there.
0 income tax dollars. Now, Jeremiah Love, Arizona, $1.3 million, gone, just like that.
Get that out of here. Who needs a Jeremiah?
Now, he signed like $50 million plus. So there are other taxes involved too, but obviously. Number 5, Arvell Reese, New York, $4.7 million.
Good God.
Gone, state income tax.
Straight out the gate before you can get it, sit down.
And David Bailey, same situation, just higher draft picks and more dollars in his contract, $5.7 million.
Where's he at? Cali?
New York.
I hear that too.
Isn't it technically New Jersey?
New Jersey, yeah.
Yeah, golly, though. Man, just
$5.7 million compared to 0.
Whole nother lifetime. Hey, Mike, that's a whole nother NIL deal.
Now, Zeph, we need to put Zeph on this project. Now we need to see Carnell Tate's rookie deal compared with the number 2 pick, David Bailey's rookie deal, and then subtract the income tax dollars and see if Carnell Tate actually will make more than the number 2 pick at number 4.
I think so.
There's a whole lot of math going on in that. Johnny in White House wants to talk about Mike's call. Johnny, what's up?
Hey, guys. As always, I love you guys. But, hey, I got a couple things. You know those people that still have their left blinker on going 55 in the fast lane? Yeah, that's Mike. Listen, Slay, didn't you just renegotiate your contract with 104.5? Are you allowed to keep your NIL money? Do you have to forfeit that when
that's
you go
outstanding.
That's exactly it.
Y'all
Right.
know I love you. Y'all know y'all are my boys, and the only reason I'm saying this because Bab's not in the studio, I guess. Auburn sucks. Go Balls. Rocky Top, baby. I love y'all. Be good.
Rock him.
Hey, that's what though. That's a good one right there. That's it right there. That is
55
it.
with the left blinker on.
Yep, just signed the deal. I wonder, can I keep my NIL? You know what? I'll go back and talk about that. Let's go.
I mean, technically speaking, you didn't renegotiate anything.
That's very true, too.
You agreed to terms on a contract extension.
Very true.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a great call.
Hey, that was good. 55 but yeah.
Man, that's an awful feeling, though, when your car makes that noise that your turn signal's still on and you're driving down the interstate. I'm like, oh, man, what an A move
everybody's
right
just
there.
sitting there looking behind you like, what are you doing, dog?
Come on, Mayor. Get it together.
Get out the way, Yor.
Oh, man. 615-737-1045. Will in Hendersonville. Will, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, Will?
Hey, love listening to your guys' show. I have a couple things. First off, this is, in my opinion, the greatest sports week of all time because the Kentucky Derby's this weekend, and I know you guys will, probably talk about that later on.
Yeah, we've got a guy, Dick Girardi. Dick Girardi comes on Fridays before the Derby, and he will this week too.
Absolutely. And I know Slay likes to bet, so I'm sure, maybe get some picks in there, Slay. I got a few horses there, so
I'm writing them down right now.
But
are you gonna wait till Friday, or you want to give them to me now?
Go ahead and give Slay a winner there.
Okay, I can give you a winner. So I like Further Ado. I've seen that horse in person. He's a really good horse. He's the fastest horse on paper. But I'll be honest, I had a dream last night that Commandment won the race. So therefore, I have to go with Commandment to win the race. But I like Further Ado a lot. But with 20 horses, anything can happen.
Right.
So, but I don't want to go against my dream, also, so I'm just, and then there's a Japanese horse, Down on Bourbon that's
Down on Bourbon.
Undefeated. Yeah, Down on Bourbon. He's a really good horse. He's undefeated. But, no Japanese horses ever won the Kentucky Derby. But, there's always, room for one to sneak in there,
Japanese whiskey's
so
good,
definitely
too.
excited about that.
Bourbon, but, where did you see Further Ado, Ron?
Keeneland.
Oh, yeah. I got you.
Yeah. So excited about that. Personally, I would lobby to have, horse racing talk, once a week, on the show. But, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But
I know that audience is out. There's a big horse community for sure, but we definitely need to play the hits. But, yeah.
For sure. And then one question I had about, so this week it came out that, Arkansas is cutting the tennis, men and women's tennis teams and programs. What do you guys think is the future for those non-revenue sports? Do you think we're going to see that more and more, or what does that look like? Because then the Arkansas men's team just made the NCAA tournament, and so it's like I understand they don't probably draw money, but at the same time, or at least a lot of money, but at the same time, I hate that for those kids and those athletes too, because they do matter. Their sports do matter. It's just in this world that we live in, it's like if you're not drawing money, I feel like you're going to be cut.
This is going to surprise a lot of people, but there's a handful of men's basketball programs that are revenue generating programs. Football is a generating program, but a lot of men's basketball programs are not revenue generators. Women's, same thing. And then you're talking about you go to baseball, softball, tennis, all those things. So, yeah, I think it's going to be an issue moving forward.
Gotcha. And then one last thing, just wanted to say that, everyone stay safe out there. I'm from Alabama. I grew up there. And I was, I remember April 27th, 2011, like it was yesterday. And, that was a terrible day. So just everyone be safe out there. And, excited about the Derby. Got our annual Derby party this Saturday. Okay. So definitely excited about that. So you guys be safe and God bless.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Man. Yeah, that was, 15 years ago yesterday. And that was the F5 tornado that went through Tuscaloosa. Mm-hmm. And we talk about Kirby with an eye all the time. It was Dawn's best friend and mine too. That went through her hometown also and wiped out her parents' house. Really? And people lost their lives in Houston, Mississippi as well. But that one, I have to go back and look, but I think that tornado set the record for the longest time spent on the ground as an F5.
Really?
Yeah. But, yeah, that was 15 years ago yesterday. I know who Moan is for in the Kentucky Derby. Horse number 1 on the rail, 4-1 favorite.
What's the name?
Renegade.
Yeah, you're like Pittsburgh ties. Mm-hmm. I wrote all yours down, though. Further Ado, Commandment, Because of the Dream, and Down on Bourbon. Japanese horse.
There aren't any great names in this field. That's what I
like Further Ado, though.
Usually like to go down.
And the reason I think Commandment will win because you're supposed to what? Follow the commandments.
There's a horse named So Happy.
Yeah, he ain't say anybody got time for that.
But is it really a mean horse? You know, like the big dude named Tiny? Like, is it really a mean horse and they just named it So Happy to fool people?
A fool the horse.
Oh, number 5, horse number 5, Right to Party. You got to fight.
Yep.
For your right to party.
Yeah. So a fight should be in this Derby.
Yeah. Dave Ziegler, assistant GM of the Titans.
To the Derby.
We'll hear from him next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
What is happening? MedicalHouseCalls.com is what's happening. They can be happening right there at your door because that's what healthcare is designed for you to do. Be right there at your door 7 days a week, 615-838-2375. A lot of people out there thinking like, yeah, feeling a little down. Energy not right. This is your opportunity for it to get right. They come to your door. All it is you have to do is call or text Medical House Calls. They'll assess exactly what you need within minutes. They'll book your visit, and boom, medical providers will be at your door to deliver care back ASAP. I've done it. Primary health care, urgent care, IV therapy. We're about to roll into summer, and you know exactly what it's going to be like. Yeah. You know those physicals and things like that, you're going to need them. You're going to need them for AU. You're going to need them for basketball trips, soccer, football practice, all of these things. They even do that. So you can't miss out. They priority IV therapy and annual physicals. You get consistent care from a provider that you know and your medical history is known by them. 615-838-2375, 615-838-2375, medicalhousecalls.com.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brett Doherty, Ron Slay with you.
That's us, y'all.
Right to party.
I ain't going with that one.
So happy.
I ain't going with that one.
The Puma.
The Puma. No.
You don't give a horse another nickname of another animal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You better be, he got to be super fast, though.
Yeah, that'd be like if I gave you a nickname and it was human.
Puma's like stealth. Hey, what? Give me a
What up, human?
Oh, hey. I'm the human.
Or maybe it's like Tyreek Hill, Cheetah.
Nah, that's
a pretty strong one.
Yeah, but he lives up to it, though.
We're talking about Kentucky Derby names. There's not a great one. Like I usually like to go with the most creative name.
Further I do.
Mm-hmm. We're going with that.
You know what? Down on bird. You know what? Nah, I'm going commandment. I'm going all three of them.
Commandment,
because Will had good reasons about all three of them.
Yeah,
the Dream was one. He said further ado. He saw him personally. Then down on Bourbon, the Japanese horse never won, so can go against all odds.
So you can't name a horse 6 speed when he's 50-1 because he ain't getting to the 6 speed. You know what I mean?
Fourth.
Y'all wait till I drop it into 6 speed.
Yeah, we'll be gone.
Yeah, good luck with that, bro. Silent Tactic.
Silent Tactic. All right. That ain't really nothing. I ain't gonna really do it.
Well, we'll ask Dick Girardi on Friday.
Titans Gnomes came up with a good one on the chat.
What you got?
Hoof-hearted.
That's a common joke on that deal.
Dog, go ahead, man. I'm gonna be going off.
My joke all the time was, if I had a horse, I would name it. That's what she said.
That's what she said. Rounding first.
Y'all can do with that what you will. I'm not going into a microphone.
Like that.
Quick note about Indiana center Pat Coogan from Pro Football Focus.
You like him a little bit, huh?
I do.
I do too.
483 pass block snaps, okay? 483 pass block snaps. 0 sacks allowed. 0 quarterback hits allowed. That's what I'm looking for.
That's pretty good.
With Cam Ward.
Yep.
That's what I'm looking for.
It's pretty good right now.
10 pressures. That's it. So out of 483 pass block snaps, no sacks, no hits, 10 pressures. That's it. What cut would you like to hear based on what we just said?
21.
Okay, the Zephyr would have pick.
21. It's a great number, Zeph. Shout out Heath Schuler. How they locked in on Pat Coogan?
There was a handful of centers that we liked, and like I mentioned, our line coaches did a lot of work on all these guys. We zoomed so many of these guys multiple times, and a main reason with the offensive line is the football intelligence piece is just so important. But he was a guy that we did pinpoint as someone that, if available at the right time, would be a target for us for multiple reasons. One, we see some position flex there. He's played center, he's played guard. The football intelligence piece was very high. And as Mike talked about it, like with the offensive lineman for us, the grit, the toughness, the nasty, the ability to, the want to finish, look, those are things that we really value in those offensive linemen. And he fits all of those. And so, we feel like there's a guy there that's going to, because of his intangibles, he's going to reach his potential, and ultimately he'll come in like every other draft pick and compete for a spot. And if he's good enough to start, then he'll start. If he's not, we'll think we have a guy that's a quality backup that can, give us some flexibility at multiple spots.
I like that.
I mean, especially in 6th round, you're looking for value.
No,
that guy can compete at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying walk in and start now. That's not what I'm saying. But at some point, that dude will be in a competitive situation.
Yeah, no question. No question. I think when you hear what you just read off about his stats, talking about not giving up a sack,
no hits,
get more competitive than that. Like you can't get to my guy. High hill, what is it? Hell or high water? I would say high hill or water.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah.
I mean, how many offensive linemen?
On a high hill.
How many offensive linemen have won Rose Bowl MVP?
Yeah. How many centers? Maybe you get a tackle or somebody. Maybe. Probably not. But a center?
No, that's A1.
Yep. Offensive guard Fernando Carmona also involved in the Titans draft class with pick 5. So that leads us to Dave Ziegler talking about the Titans' plan at offensive line.
Yeah, well, I think with the group that we have now, obviously we signed Volson, who has a lot of experience, started for 3 years in Cincinnati before having an injury. And so, we like the experience that he brings. We like his size. We like his toughness. Jackson Slater is going to be here in year 2. So we're excited to see what his development is in the spring. And, we drafted a couple guys. And so, there's a level of competition that's still going to be taking place there. And then there's an element for us to continue to, whether it's offensive line or other positions, continue to look to improve it. Like our free agency is over and the draft's over, but there's still an element of different areas of the team that we are going to continue to add competition to. And I think offensive line will be one of those positions, along with some other ones. And so I would say we're going to give those guys an opportunity. They have the opportunity this spring to prove themselves and to, earn the trust of the offensive staff and have an opportunity to secure a role, but we're also going to look to bring competition in, and if we can improve a position, we'll improve it. In terms of, hey, like you got to be fluid in this business with plans, and so, free agency, when you go into free agency, obviously it's people have different options, and there's money involved, and things of that nature. So, the chips fall where they fall, and you got to make the decisions that you make to bring the players in. There's a lot of different moving parts in free agency because you're talking about cash and money, and we signed a lot of players, and then the draft's the same way. Like the draft falls the way it falls, and so ultimately we're excited about the group that we have, but understand we're going to still look to bring competition in there also.
Dave Ziegler meeting with the media today. He is the Titans assistant general manager. Speaking of offense, what was the Titans' plan for bolstering the offensive roster?
Well, I think we wanted to add some weapons for the quarterback. I think that was a priority, and I think we came away, doing that. Obviously, add some different pieces to the receiver room, to the tight end room. So that was important, and continuing to strengthen the offensive line. And like I said, I think we're continuing to work on that process. We like some of the guys that we have, but we're going to continue to add competition to that room. So in a nutshell, on the offensive side, I'd say it's those two things.
Was receiver prioritized over offensive line in that way?
I would say no, not necessarily. I would just say, like, at the end of the day, as I mentioned, the deals, we were able to get some deals done with receivers, and we got those deals done. There was other deals that, we were looking into, and other players that we were looking into that just kind of didn't fall our way, or people made other decisions. And so you kind of, you regroup and you stay fluid, and you got to move on. So I wouldn't say it was anything like a prioritizing thing. It was more just the way the chips kind of fall sometimes.
Okay. Dave Ziegler?
Like you, Dave.
Joseph on Twitter, Mike's call had me in a blender.
That is all in there.
203 in the 615. Check out the story behind the horse. So happy it'll touch your heart. Okay. I'll do it. Speaking of offense, and they were kind of rolling through like receiver over O-line. Dave Ziegler talking about the process between picking Carnell Tate at 4 over the rest of the players available.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, what you're looking for almost any time you're making a pick is you want to have a consensus as an organization on what the vision for the player is and how they fit, whether it be into your offense or into your defense, and what that looks like. And you want to have everybody have a Yeah, I think at the end of the day, what you're looking for almost any time you're making a pick is you want to have a consensus as an organization on what the vision for the player is and how they fit, whether it be into your offense or into your defense, and what that looks like. And you want to have everybody have a good vision of what that is and feel comfortable with that vision is. And at the end of the day with Carnell, we just had a very good, I think there was a consensus vision on what he's going to do. where he's going to play, how he's going to fit in, and what he's going to bring to this team. So the fact that we were comfortable with that, I think, led us to Carnell. And we're excited about what he does. He's a receiver that can win at all three levels of the defense. You see him stretch the field. I think the unique thing about Carnell, too, is for a guy that's 6'2", he's a guy that can separate in a short area. He can run the majority of the route tree. And so what that means is you get a player that can also be productive on third down. But then you have this catch radius and the size and big hands where you see him show up in the red zone. And so that's what I think is unique about Carnell, is that a lot of times you get the bigger, taller, linear receivers. They're more like, I call them first and second down guys. They're not productive on third down because they don't have the route tree to do that. Or you have a bigger guy that doesn't consistently play big at the catch point. Carnell checked a lot of those boxes in that way, where we're feeling we're really getting a complete three-down player that can contribute on these critical downs and these critical situations, third down in the red zone. And so for us, having that vision, seeing that consensus, he was a clear guy for us to take, and we were excited about it.
What about how many players they were comfortable with at pick number 4? It's cut 18, Zeph. Dave Ziegler, Titans assistant general manager.
Yeah, probably about, 4 or 5 different guys that I think, we would have, again, depending on how it fell or depending on whether we stayed or moved back or whatnot. We were very fluid in that way. Our preparation and Mike's process allows us to feel really confident going into these different situations of how the scenario is going to play out, and us being convicted on the different players and the different roles that they're going to play. And so our process gives us a lot of confidence that, whatever that situation is, whether we're there, we're moving back, we're moving up, we're ready to pick players that we know and are comfortable with.
Would you like to hear what Dave Ziegler has to say about Nick Singleton?
I absolutely would.
All right, cut 19, Zeph. Dave Ziegler. No, I don't want to do it when we come back.
Well, we want to go right now,
We're up against the break. And
we the break. We the break.
We haven't hit a break today. That's all that.
That's why would you change it? It's been working.
Has it?
Yes. For us, it has. I just snotted all over myself.
I heard you.
That's so gross. Time to go wash my hands. Meanwhile, Dave Ziegler talking about what does Nick Singleton, the running back from Penn State, bring to the running back room.
I would say, he's obviously a bigger back, right? I think 219. You're talking about Nick Singleton, right? Yeah. So I think the combination of size and speed, you don't get many guys that, are 219, 220 that have speed, that can create some more explosive gains. And so I think that we like that about him. I think with him, he had the foot injury. And so obviously that impacted kind of, his draft, status and stock. And then he was a little less productive this year. And, I'm not going to get all the particulars, but there were some changes there and what they were doing offensively in the running back room that I think, impacted, those guys. There was an adjustment that they had to make in terms of how they read things out. And so I think that was, an adjustment that he had to go through that maybe wasn't the best for him and his skill set. But you go back to the 24 tape, and we go back and we watch a lot of tape on these guys from previous years, because there's a lot of circumstances that change year to year, whether it's, what the offensive weapons are around them, who the quarterback is, what the offensive system is. And at the end of the day, when we looked at the composite of his career, we felt like we were getting a really good player and a player that has a chance to earn a role and contribute, not just in year one, but down the road for us, too.
Okay. So real investment right here. I can't wait to see him healthy.
Right.
See what he can bring to it out there. Because that's one thing that's going to be challenging, too. That running back room is going to be
549 yards rushing last year, 1,000 the year before, 1,000 as a freshman. So I'm interested to see, what happened there and take a look at the player on the field. Yep. Where does Nick Singleton fit into Dayball's offense in that zone read scheme?
Yeah, I think that the beauty about Brian Daboll as an offensive coordinator, and one of the reasons that he's been successful. One of the reasons that we've been attracted to him is he really thinks about it that way. He thinks about it less of like, okay, this is my offensive system, and so this is what we're going to do, and just as much as like, what are the skills that these individual players have, and what are the plays that are going to be best for him. Now, so we still got to get him with us and evaluate him and see him in person. And so ultimately, if those style of runs are what's best for him, then that's what we'll ask him to do. But I think he's versatile. I think he can, play in the gap scheme and get downhill and run between the tackles. And then to your point, I think there's the ability for him to stretch to the sideline, stick his foot in the ground, and create some explosive gains on the edge. And I also think he has a passing game skill set that you didn't see as much at Penn State, that we felt comfortable watching the pro day, watching him at the combine, seeing some of the natural ability that he has to catch the ball, that he's going to bring a little bit more value to us in the passing game as his career develops than maybe what we saw at Penn State too.
There you go. Yep. Dave Ziegler, assistant GM, Tennessee Titans. Do you want to do a parlay when we come back?
Yeah, I have one ready.
All right, big slate with the parlay coming back. 3HL bingo card, all that coming up next. 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
Healthcare designed for your life. And when I say that, what does it mean? Well, it means medical house calls. And it means that you don't have to leave your house in order to get primary health care, urgent care, IV therapy, or medical weight loss. They actually come to you. If you are busy and it's hard to actually find a time where you can make it into a doctor's office, or maybe you don't want to sit in a waiting room where there's lots of germs and sickness, guess what? Medical house calls can help you out. You simply call or text them. Their teams assess what you need. You book your visit, they schedule it, and boom, medical providers at your door to deliver you the care that gets you back as soon as possible. And the best part about it is they do it 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. They have same-day appointments available, next day guaranteed. You can even get your prescriptions right there in your home, so you don't even have to go to the pharmacy. Next day guaranteed, same day appointments available. Here's your phone number, 615-838-2375. It is healthcare designed for your life. Medical House Calls at medicalhousecalls.com.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Parsley.
It's ready.
It is?
Yep.
You need a little more time, or are you good?
Nope, I'm ready when you're ready. I can use some time, but I'm ready. You ready?
Parsley coming up. 3HL bingo card. These are things that we didn't anticipate hearing on the show today.
What?
He was a body snatcher.
Detillier
talking about Tyron Montgomery, the receiver. Whoa. Hello.
Music wasn't done yet.
Also, I don't know if y'all caught, in one of those cuts, Zeph started it over by hitting the space bar.
Did he?
Yeah. Yeah. I was backing up for the table and I hit the space bar and it stopped and I looked up and Brent looked at me and I just pressed the space bar again and it started over.
Luckily, he's only 4 seconds in, so
let it roll.
I don't know if anybody caught that, but that was funny. Falk bumped me off the private jet to fly Southwest, but I did get 4,500 Southwest points.
Jimmy Wyatt,
yeah. When they drafted 2 first-rounders, he was going to fly back on the team plane. Mm-hmm. But when they drafted 2 first-rounders, he lost his seat. What happens if they draft 3? Who's next?
Yeah, somebody got to go.
Nate Bain?
Oh, no, I can't do my boy like that.
You can be so smart, you're dumb.
A lot of people out there.
Waymos.
Yeah, but you said it.
Yeah, but I said, yeah, you're right.
Talking about Waymos.
Mike, you Waymo'd me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying from now on. Getting Waymo'd.
I'll say this about Mike. Y'all can say whatever you want about Mike. But there is no caller to 3HL that draws more phone calls than Mike.
So ain't.
You know he does the same thing to Matt Murphy.
I know.
Oh, absolutely.
I've heard.
So Tyron Stokes just committed to Kansas, the number 1 player in the country. Going to play for Bill Self, 6'7", 230 pounds. Kentucky loses another one. It was between Kentucky and Kansas.
What is going on with them?
I don't know, y'all.
They got to fill out a roster.
Yeah, and a good one.
Yeah.
They can fill one out. It might not be good at the rate we're going. But he just announced, I guess, 5 minutes ago. Huge pickup for Bill Self. Big-time talent. Heard he don't get along with teammates, though. Got attitude problems. So we got to see how that shakes out. But here we go.
Here we go. All right, Parsley.
Parslizzy. Got one for hockey. The one for hockey is Buffalo Sabres. I've been riding with them. I told y'all.
You love the Sabres.
Man, I'm taking a -1.5.
Ooh.
Dallas Stars. You know how I feel about Stars being wild in Dallas.
Wild everywhere they are.
Stars money line.
Okay.
The Edmonton Oilers, who are down 3-1 in the series to Anaheim, but they're at home tonight. They got to get this one.
Money line?
Money line.
You love the Oilers. Also, I put the ad in Edmonton.
See? That's why that goes. You want this? You want
little
NBA
quick little baby
Parsley?
NBA thing? Yeah.
Ain't a baby.
Oh.
9-leg. Wembanyama over 26.5 points. Stephon Castle over 17.5 points. I forgot. I don't know how you say the dude's name, but he been killing. Go all right hand. Avdia for Portland. 22.5 over 22.5 points. Their leading scorer, whoever he is.
Waymo.
Yeah. De'Aaron Fox over 1.5 made threes. That's snuck in there. Jason Tatum, 25-plus points.
What's going on with him?
Killing. Jaylen Brown, 25-plus points.
Mm-hmm.
Tatum over 2.5 made threes.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrese Maxey over 2.5 made threes.
Uh-huh.
New York Knicks money line.
Little Maxey bet.
Little Maxey bet.
Who would be the Waymo NBA player? You know, the guy that just runs around out there.
The dude who plays for the New York Knicks, Jose Alvarado. Just check him out.
Somebody's going to end up with that nickname. Yeah, I guarantee you.
Waymo.
The guy that's just crazy all over the court.
I'm going to say it for him.
Waymo.
Boy, you Waymoing. Yeah, Waymoing right now.
Hey, head on swivel, y'all.
Please.
The storms are coming. We appreciate you guys, including us in your day and in your lives. We do not take that for granted, nor do we take that lightly. Hopefully, we were able to put a smile on your face. 3HL is
presented by
Organized Chaos. Presented by Ronnie Mack today. That's for sure. Hope you have a great night. Good night. God bless. See ya.
Wouldn't want to be unless you're getting a shout out to our guys out there swapping kidneys out. Jeremy and Ronnie Mack. Love you guys, man. Way to get it done. Heroes.